welcome everybody. We are live, at least if Mav's countdown is correct. We are live. It is PM in the PM. We are running late this evening. Thank you all for being patient with myself and with, of course, Mav. But this is PM in the PM, Pong and Mav in the PM on December the 29th, our last show before 2023. So this is going to be a good one. What a hell of a year we have all had in the video game industry. We're going to have a fun show tonight. No big topics that came up this week because everybody's on vacation. So there's really not a whole lot of news out there, but we're going to look into the crystal ball. We're going to visit Fun Speculation's hometown this evening. And we're going to take a look at 2023. But before we get into that, let me get to my brother who is here, who is alive, who is doing well, as far as I can tell. Mav, how the hell's your week been, brother? I know you got into a dust-up with some PlayStation fanboys because you dared to respond to a public post by Lena Khan, which we could talk a little bit about. But other than that, how's your week been, man? Any gaming in?
Very little, honestly. It's been crazy, man. Usually this time of year, I'm like able to sit down here and go crazy with some games and stuff. And it's been so busy that I even had to cancel the show on Monday. So I'm happy that we're able to have this show because, you know, I was wondering, we're gonna be able to do it. Yeah, we were able to make it happen. So I'm super happy about that. But yeah, it's been crazy busy around here. We had a couple Christmas event things going on and this and that. Still working, trying to work extra right now and stuff like that too. So a lot going on. I've mainly when I've been playing some Warzone with Kate when we've had time. A little bit of Midnight Suns again here and there. I'm playing that in very like short bursts. It seems like kind of like one battle and then like you turn it off.
You can do that with that game.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying doing that with it too. I actually like found myself not wanting to progress to the story. I just keep wanting to do like the side missions, and I really enjoy that. You know. So I've
That's
been having
it works, man. I've got over 3 days in that game, and I'm still in Act 1, and I'm in Act 1 because I keep doing side missions and powering up. That's all I do.
Yeah, I think I've done. I don't know how many hours I have into it, but not anywhere near you or Jasper and anybody else that I know that's been playing it a lot. But I just got past the part where you go against Venom the second time.
Okay.
Right. So I finally chose a story mission again.
Nice.
So I've been having fun with that and just random stuff. I did have time one night. I was like, okay, I got time to do something, either play games or binge a show, and I ended up binging the new season of Jack Ryan. So that was awesome as well. I love that show. And but other than that, man, it's been hanging out and playing a little bit here and there. What about you? You've been able to get some more gaming in, bro? Oh, you're mute.
I thought I just unmuted. Anyways, you could see I'm rusty because podcasting has been so sparse lately here over the past couple weeks. Before you get to me, though, Mav, I do have to ask you because I saw that you had an amazing father-daughter date the other day.
Ooh, yes.
You went and saw Avatar 2. How was it?
Yeah, me and my daughter went to see Avatar, and it was fucking incredible, man. It really was. Yeah, it was long, very long. But it was well worth it for me. She had trouble sitting still for the whole thing, I think, you know. She's this is like the longest movie she's ever seen at the theater by far. You know what I mean?
Sure. It runs what, 3.5?
It's like 3:15, I think. Around 3:15 to 3.5. I never really looked it up, but yeah, our show time was supposed to start at 7:15. You know how it is. You go to the theaters, they never actually start to like 7:30. If it says 7:15, movie starts at 7:25, 7:30, something like that. We got out of there around, I think, like 10:45, 10:50-ish, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it was a nice long movie, but dude, holy crap! Like, the years of technology advancement has paid off for Avatar, dude, because that was the most insane, like CG and effects and graphics and stuff. But not only that, but like it really helped the story. It wasn't just for show, right? They really
Right.
helped bring the world to life, and the characters were awesome. I love all the new characters in it. Some surprises that I didn't see coming because I purposely didn't like watch really much about this. It's been
Sure.
so long, and but I wanted
Yep.
to, kind of go into it not knowing what the whole plot is, right? So, but yeah, the story was excellent, dude, and there's some surprises in there that I didn't see coming, and
Cool.
it had me gripped the whole time. James Cameron deserves to be able to talk that shit. He does. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
he's a cocky bastard, but when you
Yep.
put something out there like this, and we know that there's like what 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them were coming, it's like wow,
Yep.
okay, it's pretty insane. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the rest of those for sure.
Better than the first?
I think that anytime you
It's always
set
hard. It's always
anytime
hard.
you set up a brand new universe and a brand new world that has this much to it and lore, like there's something always about the first one where you introduce people that's like
Right.
magical, right? That's like you
Yeah.
can't really replace that. However, like if you were to just to like sit there and compare 1 to 1, do I think this
Mhm.
movie on its own is better than the first one? I would say yes, but this one doesn't exist without the first. So it's
Right,
hard, it's hard to answer
Yeah.
that question in a real way.
Yep. It
Very
is.
technically speaking, I would say even potentially storytelling speaking, all these different things. I think the second one may be better, but
Yeah. Well, we waited damn long enough for
yeah,
it.
we did for sure. Are you gonna go see
Yeah, I
it?
just
You gonna
watched-
go to the theater? Or?
I don't know if I'm gonna go to the theater. We'll see. I don't do it anymore. I didn't do it for Top Gun Maverick. I finally just watched Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, did you like it?
On Paramount Plus? Absolutely did
Yeah.
like it. More than I thought I would.
It's an 80s
Because
movie made today.
It's an 80s movie, number one.
Yeah.
It was such a gigantic movie for me throughout my life. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite all-time movies, right? So I'm always worried about how they're going to pull it off this many years later and still try to come up with something semi-interesting. Even if you know what the movie's going to be, still grab you in some way. And they did a fantastic job as far as that goes. It's a Top Gun movie. I wasn't expecting some crazy, all of a sudden deeply serious movie. So it's a Top Gun movie. They did what a lot of movies do nowadays is they touch on the same beats from the first one. It's got the same rhythm as the first one, which is fine if you do it right. Now, I didn't like the new Star Wars when they did it because they did it too much. This one did it in an appropriate way and captured some of the same magic from the first one. I'm definitely not going to put this up there with the first one for me, but I will say it was entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
I love Tom Cruise, so that's already a bonus for me. I love Jennifer Connelly, so that's already a bonus for me.
Yeah.
But the story, even the overtopness of the main part, the ending, the climax, even that all fit within Top Gun. So I was like, all right, I can handle this. This is cool as shit. I'll take it. This is awesome. So like Steele and I were talking about, Top Gun back in the day, for people who weren't around back then, it made us, a lot of us, younger generation, want to go become fighter pilots for a period of time, like legitimately.
Yeah.
Like I got into Ace Combat and all those types of games because of Top Gun, right? So it's something special for me. But yeah, no, I did actually enjoy it. I thought it was really cool. So otherwise, gaming. Let's get back to the original topic here. Gaming. Steele and I ran through Diablo 3 last weekend. The whole thing, except for we've got just about half of Act 5, which I never played because I played when it originally dropped. I beat it 2 or 3 times with the kiddo when it originally dropped on PlayStation 4. And I'd gone back to it, but never really ran through it seriously. Steele and I got a bug up our asses and we ran through the entire thing. And it was really fun because this build, which we played with before, man, when we hopped back into it a little bit too, is a Necromancer, which I had never done because Necromancer wasn't originally in the game. So, but Steele is also a Necromancer. And sometimes in Diablo, can be a problem if you're running two same classes. But Steele built his Necromancer completely different than mine, right? I'm telling you, we were dying laughing at how we were just murdering
Yeah.
everything on the screen with us. We had a boss that literally, Mav, one of the bosses, I forget which one it is. I think it's the second boss. He lasted 3 seconds. We counted.
Did y'all like jack up like the difficulty and stuff too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're on Torment 2 now.
Okay.
So
right on.
every time we could jack it up, we jacked it up. So,
I remember when we started running through it the last time together, I continued because I had never actually played all the way through. Right. And then I actually ended up playing all the way through that. And I just noticed that too, as like freaking plowing through shit at some point. And I was like, is this supposed to be this easy? Like, so then you end up jacking it up. I'm like, holy crap. And it's an experience. You can have so much fun going through Diablo 3 today.
And the builds get better, and then of course it becomes about the loot, and the loot is so great. Steel actually, did he give it? Yeah, he gave it to me. Steel found a perfect skith for my build, but it's so weak, but I don't melee at all. I'm all magic and raising the dead and all that. So I don't need the hit points, but the bonus on it, because I use blood drain, this thing gives me like 276% blood drain damage bonus when it's incredible. So yeah, we had a great time with that. That was last weekend. We plowed through that. Again, we got to finish Act 5, but we're getting through that. Play a little Modern Warfare 2, pop in there just for a few rounds, get some experience and then get out. Did a little Midnight Suns, but the majority of my nights this week so far have been back into Witcher 3. I'm giving it a go. Yeah, I'm giving it a go. Like I said, I would. And I can't say that I've had the moment where it's clicked as of yet. Right. However, compared to my previous 2 experiences with it, it is much, much better now in combat, which was always my problem. The combat was always what drew me out. I still have issues when there is mobs, when there is more than 2 enemies. They get cheap shots because there is 0 warnings anywhere to tell you that somebody's about to hit you. And they get once one hits because it staggers you, then the others join in, and it becomes all of a sudden you went from 3/4 health down to 1/4 health like this. And that's still, I have a problem with that. But other than that, the combat itself is much smoother, having a much better time with it. Again, the missions, the writing, I already knew all that stuff. That stuff was already impressed upon me from my other 2 playthroughs. I knew that CD Projekt Red had done something special, and I'd seen a lot of this already. Where I'm at right now, I'd already been through a ton of this, but all of it is so beautiful now. The upgrade is amazing. The biggest change to the combat has been the quick casting on the controller. Makes a world of difference from pausing it into that slow motion mode and having to wait for yourself to cast. Totally different gameplay experience for me. So definitely enjoying the hell of it, and I like it. So I'm gonna see if it keeps going, and I'm gonna see if I have that moment where it clicks, where I'm all in. But right now, a couple hours a night, I've been having a good time with it. So that's what I did.
How do you think the next gen enhancements improve it? You think it makes a big difference, or?
Yeah, it makes a big enough difference, because I played Witcher 3. I was day 1 when it came out on PlayStation 4, right? So I was playing on the original PlayStation 4. So the crispness, the bright colors popping off the screen, it looked beautiful back in the day, but it's kind of like Red Dead 1 versus Red Dead 2, if you get me. Red Dead 1 was still a good-looking game, but Red Dead 2 can even stand up to this day, right?
Red Dead, now, if you were to put anything that's come out this generation, I would still put Red Dead Redemption 2 and put that 1-to-1 and say, is Red Dead Redemption 2 better than anything else we've seen? Potentially so, graphically at least, and detail-wise. Man, they need to do an update for that one so bad. I want to play that at 60 frames.
Bro, that's all they need to do. They don't really even need to do anything else.
No, they don't need to do a whole next-gen thing. Just give us fucking
60 frames.
60 frames.
Give us 60 frames. Lower the res a little bit. It's still going to be gorgeous. I don't care. Like I said, I'm not playing 4K on Witcher at 30 frames. I'm not going to do that with ray tracing.
Yeah.
So I'm playing at the 60 frames, and it's still, again, it's the small details in everything that stand out now versus getting kind of blurry or they kind of blend in. Now everything pops. It is a different experience now with that. But again, the quick casting is like the best thing they ever did. Like I just it makes it feel so much more natural than it did before for me. So
Vik says you need to keep your head on a swivel in a cockfight. Pong.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you've got two drowners in front of you and they happen to have two more pop up behind you, and there's no warnings that those guys are going to attack, and you're too busy focused on the other two in front of you, dodging their attack, and you get staggered, it sucks. Yes, you are right.
Ignis.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. Anyways, so that was my week of gaming. Otherwise, got through Christmas. How was your Christmas, by the way? Never even asked.
Great, man. Yeah, we had a quiet Christmas day, just me and Kate and my daughter. And she had a great Christmas, so that's what it was all about for us, you know.
Of course.
And then yesterday we had a thing at my dad's house, so that was fun. Got to see more of the family, hang out, and have some fun. Yeah, it was good. Good overall, man. It's nice holidays.
Good.
What about you?
Had a sick household here. So all plans got canceled here. I had to go to my mom's alone. So but it was fine. It was a quiet one. We don't have big families, so we don't have a lot of places to go anyways. It sucked we couldn't see the grandbabies because the wife was sick and all that kind of stuff. But you know, it happens. It's going around up here. Everybody's sick right now up here. I don't know how it is down there, but man, everybody's sick. So I was just happy to be able to go see my mom and my sister and my nieces and stuff. So that was a blast. So yeah, it was definitely a quiet Christmas. But yeah, it was a good Christmas, man.
You know something I learned this week that I feel like I'm a moron, an ignorant piece of crap that I never knew about this. And I kind of wish I was Italian now. Because I found out about this Feast of Seven Fishes thing. Have you heard about this? Like I don't know.
I've heard that before, yes.
Wait, it's something I've never had in my life, a Feast of Seven Fishes on Christmas. But I found out about it, you know, talking to some people and stuff, and I was asking Kate. Kate knows all about it, and I'm like, why don't we ever do this? Well, she doesn't like seafood, obviously, so we're never going to have it in our house or whatever. But I'm like...
because she is right.
Like oh, my God, yes. Seafood's so good. Chat, tell me if the Feast of Seven Fishes, if anybody there has that, if it's all that it's cooked up to be, because it sounds amazing. It sounds absolutely incredible. I propose Feast of Seven Fishes next year for Christmas.
Good luck. You're gonna have to find a new cook, by the way.
Yeah, it'll be a little selfish considering she won't touch it. My daughter won't touch it. I'll have my own Feast of Seven Fishes.
There you go.
Just for myself.
You can go out. Yeah, you can go out. Where was I gonna go here? Well, let's get down to business a little bit here, Mav. Let's get the chat involved too here a little bit. But first, before we get down to our predictions for 2023, which could get really crazy and wild and a lot of fun in chat, we're gonna invite you all to join in as well when we get to that segment. But let's start with a couple smaller news items that actually did happen. Let's start with the Stalker 2 trailer. Unbelievable, Mav. These devs literally in hell with war happening in their country.
Yeah, did you see the video they posted the other day about them playing the harp and chilling while they're while there's bombing air raid sirens? Going that's crazy, man.
Yes. These devs are still at least parts of the team. We know other parts have been involved in the fighting, have lost their lives in the fighting. Rest in peace to all of those. And here they are still trying to get this game out, Mav. We have a lot of talk in this community and in the industry about crunch and all this kind of stuff. And here we are having people in a war-torn country, devs trying to get this game out, moving their entire families, those that could, to other locations to continue work. And they actually even put out a new trailer today, a gameplay trailer on top of us, giving us another glimpse of what this amazing looking game in Unreal Engine 5 is going to give us. And they did not give us an exact release date, but they did say 2023. Pre-orders went back live again. For those of you that don't know, they were live at one point when they were supposed to come out last year. They eventually took them down when they made the decision to obviously
delay.
moved the date because there's no way they were going to be able to finish the game. But they did say 2023 pre-orders went live again. Mav, you watched the trailer. I watched the trailer, but I want to get your thoughts first on it. What'd you see out of today's trailer? Because it wasn't a short trailer. This gave us some story. It gave us some action. It gave us a lot of different environments. What did you see out of this thing, man? What impressed you the most?
First off, it impressed me the most that they're able to still do this. I mean, I don't want to hear any excuses for any other developers out there or anything that they can't show us anything about anything they got coming. These guys are able to still put out these. Obviously, their game's far along. Obviously, I mean, it looks gorgeous, but man, just the amount of gameplay that we saw, the facial effects, the weapon animations, like just the world that they've created. It's like fantastical, gritty Fallout in a way. Like it's just more. I don't know. It's got that post-apocalyptic like Chernobyl vibe, obviously, right? But it's got this like twist where you have. I forgot what they called it in the trailer, but like they've unlocked the intelligence of the worlds, like or something like that, and they're able to access it. And
there's
stuff.
Anomalies everywhere because of the nuclear fallout. Correct.
Yeah, and so just looking at how creative it is and how like detailed it looks and how amazing the world looks, and then you combine that with the story elements that look like they're putting in there with the gunplay and everything. It's looking like it could be a special game, man. It really does. It's my kind of vibe of a game. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm also really happy that they reiterated 2023 again.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really know, you know what I mean? But I think they wouldn't have done that unless they're pretty confident, I think.
Yeah, you got to imagine so, because I mean, when everything kind of started over there, they were getting close, right? They were kind of starting the finishing phases of that game. That's why they still believe they were going to put it out in 2022. And so you got to believe it was fairly far along, but obviously a lot of polishing probably was still needed at that point, and that's probably why they had to get this delay. And I'm not even going to hold them to 2023. If we come to December next year and they say we can't do it, I'm not going to blame them in any way, shape, or form, at all, for what they've been through, for what their team has been through. And for anybody to chat, just a quick little history here for any of you who don't know the history of Stalker. So GSC Game World. Back in the day, it was called by what was it called back in the day? I can't remember what it was called now. Just had it at the tip of my tongue. Anyways, when they did the original Stalker, it was a huge PC hit. If you didn't have the pleasure of experiencing that game, which I did at a buddy's house back in the day, Stalker was your Elder Scrolls of kind of that modern day sci-fi post-apocalyptic Chernobyl kind of thing. They started all of this, and I know a lot of you that don't know the history look at Metro and say, well, Stalker 2 just looks like a ripoff of Metro. The reason why it looks like that is because actually the original studio collapsed. They broke up. They closed doors for a while. And one part of the team during that time, there was infighting about the direction of the studio. So one part of the team actually broke off and created 4A Games, which started the Metro series. So that's where the Metro series spun off from. That's why there's so much crossover between these two franchises, because basically they did exactly what they knew how to do, was make a post-apocalyptic Chernobyl-like game with sci-fi fantastical type experiences in it. That's why Metro looks so much like it. And then the original owner revived in his studio to bring back GSC Game World with the idea that he wanted to get back to Stalker and create Stalker 2 after all this time. And sure enough, he raised enough funds to get it back up and at least start work on it. And then he fights his way all the way back, him and the rest of the devs. They get to this point, and all of a sudden their country erupts in war. Yeah. Like, it's unbelievable what this dev team has been through to get to this point. So this was one of our most anticipated games last year. it's going to continue to be even as full as 2023 is, continue to be on that list of most anticipated games. Hopefully we get a date. Again, I'm not going to blame them if they say 2024 is really when we're going to be able to get this done. I don't care. But if they can make 2023, this is going to be one of the best games to come out this year. I have no doubt about that. Now, the question is, how far along were they? How much polishing was needed? How much put together was needed? Is that going to suffer? Listen, I don't care what the game comes out like right now. The fact that it's coming out, the fact that every time they show this game off, it looks super, super impressive. I think that the acting, the storyline that they have going on here, there was some really powerful moments in just the short, brief trailer we got today that really stuck with me. Some of the lines were delivered like right on when he's, when the one commander said, my what do you say? He said, my troops are still out there and I can't even bury them. Like those type of lines, that means the writing for me sounds like it's going to be spot on. Like you said, Mav, the gunplay is something that I've never been worried about. The original Stalker, even back in the day, which is a long time ago, had really good gunplay. Loved the loading animations for the double barrel shotgun that we saw today as well. Looked highly detailed. The lighting effects throughout this game were incredible. That one room, that kind of darker room where that guy was talking to you, and they had this blue neon type light over here, and then super deep shadows as it got closer to the middle, and then you had some regular like light bulb lighting on this side. Just looked unbelievably impressive to me. So again, I'm looking forward to this. Unreal Engine 5. They came out on their official Twitter page the other day, confirmed that they are using all the bells and whistles that they have available to them in Unreal Engine 5. They're using everything that Unreal Engine 5 can deliver right now to make this game. So we're going to see, this could be the first game, if it shows up this year, to take full advantage of Unreal Engine 5 as it sits today. So that's going to be interesting to see how it comes out, what the performance is like. But again, the fact that they even got a trailer out today, shout out to them. Hats off to them. Again, nothing but prayers, energy, love towards that whole entire team for doing what they're doing. They're passionate about this project. Obviously, there are probably 95% of the teams out there in Devland would have given up on this game or said it's on indefinite hold until this war is over. But they didn't do that because this means everything to them. So again, hats off to them. Great trailer today. Really impressive stuff. And looking forward to it in 2023. Can't wait to get a date, hopefully, at some point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Man. Well said.
Heck yeah, man. Yes, sir. So that was good news today. What else happened today or happened this week that I want to touch on real quick? Let's touch on your stuff, Mav, real quick, while we're here. So Lena Khan put out a post, public post. Again, why they feel they need to do this is because they know public sentiment outside of the hardcore fan base on PlayStation side is kind of against them, for even from the legal side of things, when actual attorneys are looking at this, when former heads of DOJ who actually prosecuted Microsoft are looking at this and calling it kind of nutty. They know that the temperament out there is not very good. That obviously they are an uphill battle with this, not just from the legal standpoint, but also from an image standpoint. Because obviously everybody knows now that Lena Khan is stepping outside the bounds of what the limitations currently are, and she's trying to force a change, admitting that she's willing to take losing cases to court to try to break through what her and some people in Washington consider to be less than laws, to try to hold back some bigger companies from buying things. And so she's going out of her way. And so she made a public post this week explaining their ideology behind it. She didn't come out and say ABK and Microsoft because it's an ongoing case. So she's not going to do that. But obviously that's where her sights were pointed at through this. But Mav, I chose not to respond. I don't respond to a lot of this stuff. It's not worth my energy to me. But you did. A lot of people in this community chose to respond to her. It is a public forum. She put herself out there.
Yeah.
Again, I never agree with personal attacks, but you and many others just came with facts and opinions. Nothing personal against her, which I think is fair game.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
personal attacks, I'm never cool with. You know what I mean? Like, she may be wrong, in my opinion. But doesn't make her a horrible person that deserves to be vilified, and you know what I mean? Like,
no. Like I said that she should be removed from her office.
Yeah, I don't think she's doing a good job.
I don't think she's doing a good job, and I think she's the wrong person for this, and I think she should be removed from her office. So
personal attacks,
but again, the personal attacks, never for that. But Mav, you had a obviously point by point, fair assessment of why you believe that she was wrong, and why the FTC is wrong for trying to fight against this. And you yourself, of course, had the Sony Brigade, the PlayStation Defense Force, the Herd, whatever you want to call them, show up into your underneath your post and had some comments. And you kind of responded earlier this week with a late night stream.
Yeah.
But give me your overall thoughts on what she had to say, Mav, and kind of the response from the PlayStation community towards somebody just simply disagreeing with her.
I think, honestly, the people that just running with what she says and were going against what I put in my post are pretty much just like only play on PlayStation, only care about that, only like what they're doing now, and don't care about the rest of gaming, period, point blank. And whatever they feel like could be potentially bad for them is bad for gaming, bad for everything, because they're a consumer. They deserve what they deserve. And I feel like they're missing the bigger picture, right? And this is the point also to reason I feel like Lena Khan is wrong in this, and I think she's missing the bigger picture, right? When she made her post about this, the op-ed, I read through it, and it talks about, big tech and, challenging things to make sure that they aren't illegal, that illegal deals don't go through and all that stuff. And it's like, I just don't understand a lot of where it comes from, because the only thing making this illegal is the fact that she is saying, and those people in their group is saying it's illegal, but there's nothing literally illegal about this whatsoever. And they have actually failed to put forth any evidence or proof that this is illegal. And so my post just simply said, this deal is not illegal. This deal increases competition in the gaming space. The deal is good for consumers. The deal is good for employees of ABK. This deal is bad for Sony. Your job is not to protect Sony's number one position, it is to protect competition. And I think people just don't really understand that. I got a lot of responses from just PlayStation diehards. And I know that because if I click on their profiles and go into their feed, it's just PlayStation stuff all over the place, right?
Which you did.
Right, I did on the stream just to prove that point, right? Because they're calling me biased because I have an Xbox podcast, right? And honestly, if I had a PlayStation, I would be all for this too, a deal to go through. And one of the reasons why, and I got to speak to this one guy because he literally in his top pinned tweet on his profile says, the only combo you need, PS5, PC, and Switch. It covers 100% of your gaming. This same guy says, I'm a consumer and it's not good for me. Well, mister, if you have a PC, you get Call of Duty, you get Diablo, you get what's the next StarCraft, potentially anything else, all in PC Game Pass, right? You also get potentially cross-play, cross-progression, all these different features and all these different things, options, right? And they just ignore that because it doesn't have to do with PlayStation, right? And I feel like the biggest picture that people are missing, including Lena Khan, is that when you actually strengthen a competitor in a space that's not anywhere near number one, it puts more pressure on the number one position, which increases competition, where that number one player has to be more fair, has to try and be more creative, has to be more innovative, has to do more things to try and do good for the consumer. to gain more traction, to not lose business. You know what I mean? It's all fair game at that point, you know? So ultimately, when you have an even playing field and you have a bunch of players in a space and they're all fighting for that player base, right? Then at that point, the more even it is, the better it is for the consumers. Because if you have one that's dramatically on top, they're going to be able to be in a position to take advantage of things, right? Which PlayStation has been able to do for many years. And I feel like PlayStation gamers have been so content with their little bubble and just feel like they're okay with everything that's happened for so long because they like God of War or whatever, right? Just ignore the fact of everything else going on in the industry, period, point blank. And that's basically what it is. I mean, something that drives competition, drives companies to do better is good. And this is what would happen. The same reason it's bad for Sony is the same reason it's good for PlayStation gamers. But they can't see that. They say, hurts Sony, hurts me. But I went through it, and when I was doing that stream the other night, I did that stream because like we didn't have FSP, and I've been wanting to do, you know, something, and that was a big talking point the last few days. So the biggest takeaway I realized when I was doing this stream, PlayStation's really not losing anything. And I was like thinking about it. I'm like, what are they losing? Xbox, bro, they're actually gaining stuff because Xbox has even offered to put Call of Duty in PlayStation Plus extra. So if they do that, they're actually gaining something. But they're not going to lose Diablo. They're not going to lose Overwatch. What else? What other Activision games do they make, really? You know what I mean? Like, what other big Activision games have come out recently? StarCraft doesn't come out on consoles, or hasn't in if it ever has. I don't know if, and there's no plans on that right now. I don't, for what we know. But even if it does, it still doesn't exist there now. You know what I mean? Like, there's really nothing that they're losing. And I can't think about it. You could say, what about that Blizzard new survival IP? Who knows what that is? You can't say you're losing that. We don't even know what it is yet. And we don't even know where that will be yet. They're literally not losing any big games from the platform.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. And so I don't get all the responses that come with this. Like, they're literally taking things away from PlayStation consumers. They're literally taking things away. Like, no, they're not. What are they taking away with this deal? They're only actually giving you more options to be able to access that same content.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so mind-blowing about how that point is missed, because FTC has ignored Xbox and Microsoft's offers to Sony. Sony has ignored the offers to Sony. Nintendo hasn't. How is it good for? What about Nintendo consumers? Do they not matter? According to the FTC,
No.
They don't,
No.
right? Because they're not in the hardcore hardware space, or whatever they call it, high-end device, whatever. And it's just utter ludicrous bullshit that is made up out there. And I just feel like that I think people just were looking to agree with this just for the sake of going against Microsoft, going against Xbox. And it has nothing to do with the facts of the matter. And which is the opposite reason that, I mean, the FTC has their own agenda, right? Ideological agenda and all these different things, right? That's their reasoning. The PlayStation hardcore, the fanboys that are actually crying about this, which is, it's actually like the minority of gamers out there are actually crying about this. It's just overwhelming. Like, there was like a post, I think it was Bloomberg or somebody made a post, and it was like 84% wanted this deal, thought this deal was okay to go through. It was not an Xbox post, period. And it's like just the PlayStation diehard just want to attack this to attack Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. They're using this as like console. Oh, this will hurt Xbox. It just doesn't make any sense, because they're actually doing themselves a disservice. And if PlayStation does, I said this too, if PlayStation does fight this all the way through to the end, and they actually don't agree to these concessions, and this goes all the way, and Microsoft, FDA gets the CMA approval, gets the EU approval, but Sony never signed anything, right? They never agreed to anything. If it goes at that point, and it gets approved to EU and CMA without concessions of those games going to those services and platforms, and it goes all the way through to the Supreme Court, and this gets end up passing in the US, Sony's screwing themselves out of the concessions potentially. And at that point, Microsoft can do whatever the hell they want. Now, would they still probably put these games on PlayStation? Probably, or so, but they're not required to do so. They're making an offer now that I feel like could potentially get accepted. But I think it's going to depend on the CMA and the EU's approval to do that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. It's just I've said numerous times now since the FTC thing happened, I don't know if this deal is going to go through or not because it's too much hinged on the CMA and EU. But I still have confidence in it. If it doesn't go through, I'm not upset. Right? Only thing I dislike. Only thing I dislike is the government and the regulators and all that stuff. As far as like an Xbox consumer, I don't really care for that much for that. In my mind, I'm like, what is Xbox going to do now? You know what I mean? At that point, but I still think it should go through. I think that it would be beneficial to all of us if it does go through, and it's a good thing in the end. But I will not have any like crying moments, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm glad you hit on that too, Matt, because that's basically what I've been screaming in my own head as I've been reading comments and all this kind of stuff. And as a side note, everybody, the Chilean government today approved this. So Chile is on board. Up next is supposedly Japan. We should be hearing from Japan fairly shortly as well. Again, none of that matters at the end of the day. Unfortunately, I wish it was all even across the board. And if the majority voted yes, it would count, but it doesn't. So it doesn't matter. These smaller countries really don't, but they're all expected to pass this deal for all the reasons we've talked about. When you look at it from strictly a competition or consumer standpoint, there really is no reason to deny this. But I'm glad that you brought up the fact that what's been lost in all of this, Mav, is these people that want to argue. And again, everybody out there, it's your choice if you give these people energy or if you don't. Whatever. I made my statements long ago. I will come out and have rants on podcasts, but outside of that, they don't get my energy. But there is a portion of this community who are snakes. They are big time snakes. They are here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to argue with people, to take the side one way or the other. Again, they're on both sides. I've said that plenty of times as well. We saw that with the whole gas ordeal that we talked about last week with Asa. There's plenty of them on both sides, but there are a lot on the PlayStation side because PlayStation is more popular. But the fact that everybody avoids stating the obvious, that nothing changes for PlayStation. The only time it changes for PlayStation is if you go into speculation town. Well, if you go into speculation town, then you're no better than any of us who also delve into speculation town.
A lot of those people complain about the speculation.
Yes.
Right?
Correct. Allows people complain about it and they try to act like they're not speculating.
The FTC is speculation right now on the future.
Absolutely. The FTC's whole basis is on speculation.
Yeah. Pessimistic speculation.
Right. You guys don't even admit that. And then on top of that, the arguments that I've seen trying to shut people down that always happen constantly from the same core group of people in this community. You guys, if you're going to come in with an argument and you want to debate sides, that's fine. I'm all for that. I like that. I enjoy that. But if you're not going to acknowledge Lena Khan's own personal comments or the FTC's statements that have been made publicly, or the numerous articles that were written ever since Lena Khan was put into power about what she was going to do and what she was there to establish, if you're not going to acknowledge those are out there directly from this person who is getting
talked about their strategy all along.
Right. Then you are totally ignoring the fact that the FTC is attempting to change the laws by circumventing the legislature.
They
That
said that's
is
their
not
tactic.
how
The person
that's
themselves.
their tactic.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why Lena said she is willing to bring losing case after losing case
To get
to
the law
try
changed.
to get the legislature to change the laws. That is exactly what we're talking about. As the laws are written, they have zero case. As the laws are written, this is idiotic what they're trying to do. They are not taking to the federal courts because they know they will lose. They are trying to force Microsoft into a waiting game, hoping that they will bow out or hoping that the CMA and or the EU will bail them out.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing here. So again, these snakes out here who like to show up every time there is a conversation about something Microsoft is doing or Xbox is doing that doesn't favor their side for a change, this is their tactic. And they avoid the facts of the situation. And that's what absolutely boggles my mind. Those PlayStation fans in your, underneath your posts and other people's posts, again, acted as if Microsoft had already said Call of Duty is going to be exclusive to our console. That is the opposite of what has happened. And if you want to talk 10 years from now, do you know how much changes in 10 years? You guys realize that Call of Duty may not be Call of Duty in 10 years? Do you realize that your console of choice may not be the same console in 10 years? Do you understand it might not even matter in 10 years if Microsoft were to decide to make it exclusive? Everything changes, but that's not how we make decisions. You don't forecast out into the unknown, because even if you want to say that what you're saying is right, the opposite can also be right because it's all speculation. That's all this is. It's a bunch of nonsense, but nothing changes. The only thing that upfront changes for PlayStation is they will no longer have the marketing rights, which means for you, if you are a PlayStation only consumer, that just means you won't get your early access to the beta. That just means that you won't get your little samurai outfit. That's all that changes for you guys. That's it. Period. And the other thing that the snakes like to use in conversations when they talk about any topic that comes up, especially if it's on the PlayStation side. I saw it once again happen when the new PlayStation Pro controller was announced and the battery life topic came up, because there was an article stating that the battery life is significantly less than even the PlayStation 5 DualSense is. And of course, there was a lot of back and forth with that. The other thing the snakes like to do is say, well, but it's a choice. It's a choice. Everybody has a choice. Don't buy it then. Don't buy it then. Well, guess what? That's here and now with consoles as well. So guess what? If Microsoft does decide to make Call of Duty exclusive, that just means everybody's got to make a choice. They have the freedom to choose where they want to go. I had to choose if I wanted to go PlayStation or Xbox this time around to start out with. I couldn't keep both. Did I know that I was giving up games that were exclusive to PlayStation? Yes, of course I did. I knew that. Did I know that did I know at that point that I wouldn't be able to experience certain things because I wasn't going to own a PlayStation? Yes, that went into my decision making. That's still an option. Consumers will always have a choice. You guys who are bitching and complaining and whining and crying as much as Sony has been through this whole thing, you guys are just upset because you've decided that you hate a piece of plastic so much or a company so much that you don't want to have to make that choice. You don't want that. Listen, I've said it a billion times since I started podcasting. In the ultimate nirvana of worlds, if we could just have one device that played every single game, I would be a happy camper. I would love it. No problem with it whatsoever if I never heard the word exclusive again. But that's not how this industry has ever worked. There's never been a time when Nintendo and Sega shared things with first-party stuff. There's never been a time when this has ever been not something you had to make a decision on as a gamer. And yeah, of course, I know you all want to come back and say, but, this is a third-party publisher being taken off the market. Let's talk about that third-party publisher and Activision Blizzard real quick. Somehow you all decide to also ignore, and Lena Khan and her cronies at the FTC are also ignoring, the fact that Activision Blizzard is selling for a reason. That reason doesn't go away just because you stop Microsoft and Xbox from purchasing them. They're still going to have major issues. Are you all telling me that there's another company out there you'd rather have Activision Blizzard go and survive and maybe even thrive again at other than Microsoft? You're telling me that you'd rather have Tencent own them? You'd rather say that Apple should own them, even though that would never go through either. But you would think Amazon should own them? You think these are all better places, more established in this industry with a better track record than Microsoft and Xbox do? Come on, guys, gals. You got to be kidding yourselves. So let's say nobody else can step up the plate. Maybe the FTC blocks everybody who wants to buy Activision Blizzard. What was the Activision Blizzard's trials and tribulations that they've been having? And all the problems internally, financially, that they've talked about openly about Call of Duty basically being run into the ground, and it's caused them nothing but problems, and they see bigger problems down the road of sustaining that model. Once this causes Activision Blizzard to fall apart, you're telling me you'd rather have Activision Blizzard fall apart, devs lose their jobs, potentially IP being sold to random places, random publishers and devs across the world, maybe never to see the light of day again. You'd rather have all that happen and the potential of losing Call of Duty in its current form because somebody would have to come pick up the pieces. You'd rather have all that happen than just to have Microsoft and Xbox be the owners where you know that they're going to be taken care of, where you know the potential as a gamer. And that's the other question I saw a lot too, Matt. But tell me how it benefits gamers. You don't want to know how it benefits gamers? As a gamer, I don't care where that game goes to. I can be excited for Nintendo fans getting a new Zelda, even though I have zero interest in the game. I'm still excited for the fans. So if StarCraft comes back, that's somehow a bad thing for gamers. If Prototype makes its return, that's somehow bad for gamers. No, I'd say that's good for gamers. More games, more content. Even though we already have so much more, the potential, because Microsoft and Xbox own this company now, to give them the opportunity, these dev teams that have been saddled with Call of Duty this entire time, chained to it, free them up and be able to go create different new experiences for us, maybe reviving some old IP, beloved IP like Guitar Hero. You think that's a bad thing for gamers? No, I count that as a good thing for gamers. And even if it's exclusive, you still have options. And those options 10 years from now are going to be even more so. What do you think cloud gaming is going to look like in 10 years? Technology changes in the blink of an eye. Think about the end of the PlayStation 2 era, Mav. Think about where we were internet-wise. 10 years, the end of the PlayStation 2 era to the end of the 360 PS3 era. Think about the change in the internet we had during that time period. Think about how much more natural it was to be online gaming in those 10 years. 10 years is a long time. So what do you think cloud gaming is going to be like in 10 years? Do you think that Microsoft might not even at that point, not even make you buy a console because their little puck device or their little box device where you can stream all the games from Xbox comes out and it's priced at $99 or under? You're going to have the option to go pick that thing up as a complement to your PlayStation 5, 6, whatever it is that you're gaming on, for pennies compared to what you used to have to spend. You'll be able to access all those games for $10 a month, $15 a month, $20 a month, whatever it is at that point. And you're telling me that's a bad thing for gamers, or that gamers aren't benefiting from that? No, without Microsoft and Xbox, is that going to happen with Activision Blizzard games? No, it's not. We're not going to see some kind of untraditional thing come out of Activision Blizzard on their own, where all of a sudden they have their own console, they have their own streaming stick, and you could stream Activision Blizzard games. That's not going to happen. It's going to need them to be under somebody else. And guess what? Microsoft, Xbox can make that happen. So all of you guys out here are fighting the good fight. I appreciate the fact that you guys continuously do this. I don't know where you come up with the time. I honestly don't know how you mentally come up with the energy to focus on the negative all the time. But you snakes out here, man, you guys are constantly hungry. But the fact is that you avoid the counter arguments completely when you know they're there. And again, as I always say, either you're being willfully ignorant or you're being intellectually dishonest. And either one of those two things is not good. I can look at both sides. I can argue as to why Sony doesn't want this. I've said from the beginning, I understand why Jim Ryan's out here throwing a fit and doing it. I could explain that side, but you guys can't do that. That's business.
Yeah.
But you guys can't explain the other side at all, because to do so would to give in. And you can't give an inch, even when you know it's better for this industry. Again, that's why I say Sony's holding back this industry. All right, my rant is done, Mav.
Again,
I had to get that off my chest.
You're not losing anything.
Not losing
like Call of Duty,
damn
Diablo, Overwatch. What are the big Activision Blizzard IPs that are multi-platform right now are going to stay
You're not
that
losing
way?
a thing.
So,
my God, Fallout 76 just showed up PlayStation Plus coming up.
They've even released like updated versions on the on
they're getting Fallout 4 update next year.
Yeah,
for free.
It's crazy,
for
man.
free.
Yeah,
it is crazy. Again, it's just funny how all this goes round and round and round. But we had to touch on it because it was something that popped up this week.
Yeah,
it was interesting. For sure, 100%.
Let's say hi to the chat and then get to our sponsors.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Thank you for reminding me about our sponsor. Sorry, Mav, if we did this too late.
No, you're fine.
I'll say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll get the sponsor in here. Serrano Grant, what's going on? Great to see you. Spooky, the breathtaking gamer, the one and only. Brother, what is happening, man? Appreciate you all the way from down under. Tony Grasso is in the house. Vik The CLiCK, of course, is here. Vaheem Scott, love you, Vaheem. You're always in here with great counterpoints, and I love it. What's going on? HTK 360, brother. Peter is in the house from the one and only NGL crew. What is going on, brother Peter? Great to see you. Nola Rogans, great to have you in here. John M, what is going on, John M? Great to have you a part of our chat. It's Timmy. Timmy's in the house. What's going on, Timmy? Who else we got in here? Of course, we got brother Psychonauts checking on in. Brother, I hope you're feeling better, man. I know you're underneath the weather again. I hope you're taking care of yourself, man. Get better soon. Sin, what's going on, Sin? Great to have you in here. RSJ fan, it wouldn't be a chat without you. Rick Payne showing up in here. What's going on, Rick? One of the originals. What's going on, Rick? Great to have you a part of our show tonight. Talos Ray, what's going on? Jay Dillinger, Siki, Infinite Umbra, of course, all up in here. Jonathan B, what is going on? Shane G, what's going on, man? Great to have you in here as well. Who else we got? We got Garcia showing up in the house. We got Vampire Zombie. Who else we got in here? We got Polybaba. What's going on, Polybaba? We got General Spartan 27. Of course, got to drop on here and say hi. Mr. Joanna Dark, Mr. Nintendo super fan himself is in the house. What's going on, Joanna? And I think I've got everybody that I can see. So Mav. Oh, Jesse B dropping on here. What's going on, Jesse? Great to have you. So, Mav, we got a sponsor.
Yes, we
Hit
do.
him. How am I going to keep my balls nice and shaved, man?
Well, you know, the New Year's is almost here, right? And you know what happens on New Year's?
Fresh.
A ball drops, right?
I go to sleep early. Yeah, go ahead.
You used to go to sleep early on New Year's Eve. That's fine. But like when the ball drops, you know, you'll be safe to drop your balls also because they'll be nice and smooth if you use Manscaped. Hey fellas, this episode of PM in the PM is brought to you by our favorite producers of ball trimmers, Manscaped. The global leaders in below-the-waist grooming are leaving 2022 with brand new products, Persevere Cologne and Persevere Body Wash. 2023 is a year to up your hygiene game and smell amazing, and Manscaped wants to help you do so with this special offer. Use the code FUNSPECULATION for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Take the leap into the new year and join the 7 million men who already trust Manscaped. Yeah, they're good products. They got some new stuff coming out. Absolutely awesome. I'm excited for actually what they got coming after the new year that I can't say what it is yet, but I do know. And I'm excited to talk about that when that happens. But yeah, these products are great, and I do actually use them. Yes. As grizzly as I am up here, it's not the same everywhere. Enjoy it. Manscaped. 20% off with code FUNSPECULATION. You can use the code FUNSPECULATION for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. All right. Well, everybody, if you use that code, it also does help the channel. So I appreciate each and every one of you that does. There's lots of Manscaped pods out there, you know. So, but if you use our code, it means a lot to me. Stay smooth. All right.
Stay smooth.
I added that. I don't know. I like it. Yeah. Stay smooth.
Stay smooth, man. What's going on? Everybody, appreciate you all again for being here. If you can hit that like button, if you have an opportunity to share us out, please do so. I know a lot of you do. Again, we see it prior and during the show, so appreciate every single one of you. Had tremendous growth on this channel in 2022.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of thanks to all of you. Obviously, Mav and Caitlin do a hell of a job running this channel, put out a ton of content. But if it wasn't for all you, the growth wouldn't be the same. And you guys have done a fabulous job with that. So please continue to do so. We appreciate it 100%. Speaking
well
of this
said,
year, man.
Pong. It's excellent. Yes.
Hey,
it means a lot to
trying,
us for
sir.
sure.
Absolutely, 100%. Again, without the chat, what are we? Nothing. So again, we're just chatting on Xbox Live, doing the same bullshit. So, but now we got an audience, and we got an audience of great people. This community on this side has been fantastic, and it's something you guys should definitely be proud of, Mav, all the time. What you guys have built here. Bro. So we're gonna continue to make it even bigger and better come 2023. Speaking of which, Mav, let's dive in to kind of our main topic tonight. Let's get fun. Let's get crazy. Let's get wild. Let's get obvious. Chat, I want you, me and Mav want you all to get your thinking caps on as well. Love to see some people's ideas about what we're about to talk about, because we're going to look into the future. Yes, we are remaining in speculation town, as we are wont to do here on PM in the PM.
This is fun speculation at its finest.
This is fun.
Here. Yeah.
This is fun. This is 2023 coming up here, man. We already know on paper, looking to be one of the biggest years in video game history, potentially the biggest year ever. From a content perspective, we already know it's going to be because there's more content coming out now than there ever has been in the industry. But I'm even talking from a quality standpoint. The titles that are scheduled to be released this year, we could have a year where we have 3, 4, 5 generational type games come out this year, like insane. We just had Toonami too out of the blue today do an interview in which they said that they are going to have announcements for 2023. Toonami coming back, including one, which of course everybody's running with, Metal Gear Solid Remake, because they said, and they have one announcement that has been long awaited and long anticipated. So you get those types of announcements thrown in there, stuff we don't even know about. And 2023 is looking spectacular.
Yeah.
Unbelievable type year. Even if some games move out, there is more than enough to make up. It's ridiculous. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to make some predictions. And it's not just doesn't have to be just specific games. We could talk about consoles, we can talk about all publishers, we can talk about all sorts of stuff, acquisitions. It doesn't matter. This is a free-for-all for 2023, what we expect to see. And we're gonna start, we'll go back and forth here, Mav. We'll get the chat involved here, but let's start
before we get started. Let's get this one super chat real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Soren Grant, appreciate you, Soren Grant, with the £9 super chat. Says Manscaped must have some marketing budget. Everything from gaming to MMA. Thanks for the show, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, they are everywhere.
They are everywhere. They're crazy.
That's for sure.
What's not everywhere is pubes.
That's hopefully not.
Except for when you shave for the first time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, make sure you do it somewhere.
Use a towel.
Yeah, use a towel. Do it over the toilet. Do it in the shower or something.
Yeah.
So looking at 2023, let's go through some predictions. was going to try to structure this a little bit, Mav, but I don't know if we can really structure it. So let's just go back and forth.
Do you want to pick like a certain amount of safe bets and then do like a certain amount of crazy bets? I'm wondering, Pong, if we could go back to this and like if next year we do the same episode and whatever came true, we could like have a bet where like one of us has to do something.
How are we judging what's wild and what's obvious?
Well, I think safe bets, we leave it up to the chat if it was like okay or not, like if it was too safe. Like safe bets are gonna be like safe, like something simple. Why crazy bets? Something nobody's talking about right now, right? Like wild's got to be something unique. I'm wondering, you know, if we do this, if we can keep track of it and go back to this, if we'll remember.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll remember it. We can go back to the show and we can rewatch this segment. It'll be easy. All right, so let's do this. So Chad, get ready here. We'll get you involved. We'll pull out some of the finest out of the chat and talk about them as well. So Mav, why don't you start us off, brother? Give me a safe bet for 2023.
Safe bet for Mav. Okay. Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna say that. Man, this is gonna be this is gonna be one of the wild ones. Okay, I'm gonna say that there will be a show in the last week of January or the first week of February, that 2-week period. Okay,
sure. Yep.
For Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna add a point to that we're going to get 2 release dates at that show.
Two release dates.
2 release dates at that show.
Okay.
And potentially find out about a game for later this year. But that one doesn't count. I'm going to say 2 release dates and a January, February show. Okay.
Okay.
Right, within that 2-week period, I say, so that's like January, like the 23rd through like February 7th. In that period, show 2 release dates.
Yep.
Mark it. That's a safe bet.
Good one. Mark it. All right, so let's see. Chat here. General Spartan 27 says ABK is acquired with concessions, and Siki said kind of on the same boat. ABK deal done before August. I give you both safe bets on those. I do, in my opinion. So I definitely agree there. All right. My safe bet next year. PlayStation will announce their new console, and it will be available for holiday of next year. It's going to be a single model.
Are you talking about the one where they have the disc that the optional disc changer?
Optional disc, but that will be available by next holiday, and it'll be a single SKU. And
what will the price? You want to talk about the price? What's the price?
No.
Okay.
I could add the price in there because it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be 500.
It's going to be 500. You think? No, I don't.
No,
think so.
It's not.
But I think my little spice is that there will be a bump in the performance as well.
Oh.
I'm not going to say a large bump, but I'm going to say there is going to be a bump in the overall performance. Maybe they won't have the variable rate drives or
they just increase the
correct. And so I think that's what we're going to see. So that's my prediction, my first safe prediction for next year.
I like
with
it.
a little spice.
I like it. Let's get some more of these. Tony says Manscaped 5.0 will be dropping in September.
I like it.
Okay. So Calarie says, with the announcement that ABK has been passed, Microsoft announces that as part of the deal to add Call of Duty to Nintendo, xCloud is immediately available on the Switch and future Nintendo platforms for 10 years.
Wow.
That's
I put that in the wild. I put that in the wild one. Yeah. That's a wild one. I like it though.
I think they could make Call of Duty like playable on the cloud on the Switch without going as far as the whole shebang on the Switch. But if that whole shebang happened on the Switch, that'd be crazy.
No. Yeah. It would be crazy. No, Vic, not that type of bump either, brother. You and I got you, but not that type of bump.
Yeah. All right, so I got to get another safe bet here. I will say that Nintendo will announce new hardware next year.
Okay. You okay?
I
think that's a safe one, huh?
I'm saying it's a safe one because it's got to be. They've got to at least announce it or acknowledge it. Talk about some.
No, they don't.
It's been too long.
That was one of my more crazy ones.
I didn't say release.
There, okay.
I didn't say release.
Yeah.
I said announce. So like potentially like a late in the year announcement, you know, for like a March release of 2024.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But it could still possibly release next year if with the new Zelda game. Potentially. Okay. But I'm gonna say a new announcement for the new Nintendo hardware, probably Switch 2.0, but could be something we didn't see coming.
Okay, fair enough. All right, another safe bet here. What should I go with? I am going to say that Microsoft and Xbox will announce the Family Game Pass plan at the showcase next year, June.
At the showcase.
At the June showcase.
That long?
Yes.
That long before we get that?
That long, yes.
Okay.
I'm saying the June showcase will be a big presentation at the June showcase. Even though that doesn't sound like a showcase thing, it's going to be a showcase thing for Xbox.
Okay. All right. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. Calarie says, a safe bet people will come to their senses and recognize great content, resulting in fun speculation skyrocketing to 100K subs by 2024. I don't know if that's a safe bet. I don't know if that's a safe bet. I'll take it.
I like it.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I'll put that on the wild side.
Yeah. Soren Grant disagrees with my Nintendo thing. I know there's going to be a lot of people disagree with that. That doesn't surprise me. I'm probably an outlier on that.
Psycho, that's a wild one. Nintendo eShop coming to Xbox and Game Pass going to Switch. All right, Psycho.
Ooh,
we'll go with that, brother. That would be interesting.
All right.
Yeah, it would be good.
Yeah, this is fun. So I need another safe bet. Oh man. Okay, I will say that we do not hear anything else about Ubisoft Plus for consoles next year.
Oof. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, that might be a crazy one.
That might be a crazy one. But
you know, it's just like it's disappeared into the ether.
It has.
I don't know if they will. I don't know if Ubisoft will ever even acknowledge it. They said this year. It's December 29th. And they have not even acknowledged it again. They have not even said anything about it again.
Are you sticking with that? You're safe?
Is that too crazy?
I'll let you put it in your safe if you want to.
Oh man, that might be too crazy.
I mean, to have it publicly announced and then never say another word about it would be kind of crazy. But
that's happened before, though.
It has.
I mean, they do that with their games.
I know. That's why I'm saying I'm
sticking to it. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, all right. General Spartan says Starfield becomes the #1 exclusive for 2023. General, I will take that all day long as a safe bet. I 100% agree with you. No matter what metric you want to use, I will give it to you. Besides actual physical sales. Okay? That's the only one I won't give to you on that one. But yeah, Starfield will be. Psycho says Microsoft restructures Xbox Live into Game Pass next year, huh? I could see it. If they come with a Game Pass increase, I could see it. So that's going to include a Game Pass increase. I like that one too, Psycho. All right. Another safe bet for me. Oh boy. These are tough because there's obvious ones like we've talked about 1 billion times, right? So I'm trying to think of different ways to spin them.
This is tough, man. It's harder than it seems on the spot, you know.
This is PlayStation will have Oh no, I don't even know if I can count that as a safe one. Can I?
Yeah, the thing is we like to have too much fun with these predictions that we kind of go
I
out
know,
there.
I know,
You know what I mean?
I know.
It's
It's
like
hard
this,
to reel them back.
it is hard to reel them back.
um. mm,
Oh, I love this.
Okay, all right. So Xbox will have
Games.
games next year. That's a prediction.
Xbox will have games.
Xbox will have two first party titles for fall and holiday of next year.
Oh, is one of those like a Starfield like gets pushed back?
No.
Or okay, so
No.
two other ones
No.
that we didn't know were
two other ones that we don't know about.
Xbox 2 fall holiday games. I like it. Okay. Fuzzy's not gonna like this one.
Uh-oh.
Forza Motorsport will release with the least amount of cars since Forza Motorsport
Jesus.
1.
Is one of his main threats to turn 10 to not do. That's great.
I've taken this as in they're like going all out on these cars, and you know they don't want to put a bunch of like wonky cars in with the detailed. They've done that before. Remember they had at one point where they're like, well, these are our new cars, and then we threw in a bunch of our old cars, and then like you had like extra detail. You had like the whole garage stuff. You could do all the extra stuff with the new cars, but you couldn't with the old cars.
Right.
I feel like this is a reboot. It's going to be the smallest car lineup that we've gotten since. I remember Fuzzy saying that, but when Fuzzy was saying that, I was like, I think that's maybe the case. So that's a safe bet.
If that happens, we're going to have segments just for Fuzzy on each one of the shows because he's going to go on a 30-minute rant. Okay.
It'll still be a lot of cars. The first Forza Motorsport had a lot of cars.
Yeah.
But they're going to really, I think this game will launch with that, but then they're going to come out with cars for years and years, and it will end up being the biggest library. But I don't think they're as concerned at launch because I think Forza Motorsport is a games of service type racing game.
Right.
So.
No, I don't disagree with you. Like, I know Fuzzy's stewing right now, but I don't disagree with you at all. Infinite Umbra says the acquisition will be approved before Diablo 4 releases. Okay, I mean, your guess is as good as ours, Infinite. So I will give you a safe one on that one. That is June the 6th.
Yeah.
So all right, I like it. I hope it does happen. It would be huge if it does. Trust me, that would be gigantic. We already got some wild predictions in here. Fastback, shout out to brother Chris. What's going on?
Are we doing wild? Are we doing wilds? Or are we doing safe? We're still doing saves, right? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm trying to grab people. So
okay. Yeah.
So Fastback, brother Chris says. Bold prediction: Xbox, Hellblade 2 fall of 2023.
Okay,
I give you that's a bold prediction. But it would fit in line with what I just said with 2 first party titles for fall and winter, so that will work. And then Sin said my wild prediction is that The Last Night gets a 2023 release date. Listen, Sin, if that happens. And we have replaced earlier in 2023, and we get The Last Night by the end of 2023. My God, 2 of my most highly anticipated indie titles of all time in the same year. I will love that, Sin. I love that prediction. Thank you for that, sir. 100%. All right. Another safe bet. PlayStation will launch Factions next year.
Okay. That's a safe one.
I'm saying that's safe.
Okay. I'll put that in the same safe as the Nintendo hardware.
Yes.
or the Ubisoft Plus disappears. That's in that category. But yeah.
Listen, they gotta have something. They gotta have something.
They gotta have something more than a postcard with a picture on it.
Yes, but they gotta have something more than just Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy 16 and Forspoken. They've gotta have something else in there. And VR games, I'm not counting. Because I don't count VR. I don't care. that you can call them PlayStation exclusives, but I'm not calling them in what we're talking about here. So, factions next year.
All right. So, my next safe bet is about our good buddy Psychonauts. That he will complete the trifecta next year, and he will not only have sex with a neighbor, he will also have sex with somebody's mom, and also a strange woman that just randomly knocks on his door.
Wow.
All in the same year.
That's like every year for him. That is a safe bet. So
yeah, that's bet. Okay, I'll move on back to gaming. I'm sorry. All right, sorry, Psycho, but I thought it was safe. He said bet. All right, how about okay.
Shout out to Boom showing up in here. What's going on, Boom? Great to see you, brother.
What's up, Boom?
Great show today too, from what I caught. I could catch it in office. Sorry I couldn't be there, man. Great show though.
Vic wants to put money on that one. All right. So I think we're going to get. I like some of your Xbox predictions, and I'm trying to go in a little bit different direction with theirs. Okay, I think they're going to start a quarterly show.
Oh, okay.
And they're gonna start a quarterly show.
Does the showcase count as a part of that quarter?
Yes, it's gonna be. Okay. So we'll have that, and then we'll have something in like March, April. Okay. Then we'll have E3. Then we'll have something in like Gamescom will probably be the next thing that they'll make it a part of that, and then we'll have like a fall holiday thing after that, holiday season thing. I think they're gonna go with the quarterly routine now.
Are you talking about big or Nintendo Direct?
I think some of them will be bigger than others. I think like they'll have a blowout for E3, and I think they'll have like the other ones will be like similar to whatever we're getting in January.
Okay, I would love it. It'd be fantastic if they start rolling something like that. I don't care if we get a couple Nintendo Direct style game, during anything added in there would be fantastic. So I like it. I like it a lot. It's a good one.
Thanks. I like that.
That's definitely a good one. All right. You stole my Nintendo one. I'm trying to think here. Okay. No, because see, I'm going to save that for my wild. I got to save that for my wild. All right. What are we going to go with here? Are we still on safe bets?
Yeah, well, I think we'll do like maybe one more safe bet.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
That's fine. Yeah, we can do one more safe bet. Xbox will announce their new controller by fall of next year. Not saying release, but they will announce a new controller coming by the end of next year, a successor to the Elite 2.
Okay.
And it will have haptics, it will have all the DualShock features to it.
I like it.
Boring, but
yeah, I mean it's very safe. Yep. There's a lot of safe stuff. There was like little bits of hints out there. We saw that, man, but we're about to get wild, bro.
Yeah, we're about to get wild. We are about.
So what are we gonna do? Like score each one of those like 1 point, and like each one of these next ones like 5.
Yep.
That sounds fair. That way, if somebody gets all the safes right, because I think we got 5 safes. We got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got 5 safes each, right? So that way, if somebody gets all their safes right, they can tie somebody that gets one wild right if they got all their safes wrong.
Right. Correct.
Right. That makes it fair.
Yep. It
does. Chris says the Mav and Mika will be out before summer. That is wild.
That is wild. Oh, Sarah and Grant with after the ABK acquisition, Microsoft will make a deal with a VR headset producer. That is definitely a wild one.
Well, they kind of already have somewhat where they put the Game Pass app on Meta.
Yeah, but I think he's specifically talking about something bigger, like actual first party titles.
Okay. Fair enough. You want to go first on Wild or that? Or I can. Who went
I don't
first last
care.
time? I think that I went first last time. So you go first.
Yeah, you went
this time.
first last time.
I
Okay,
need
all
more
right.
time
So
to
I'll
think.
start off the wild section. So at the end of 2023, as midnight strikes on January 1st, 2024, we'll look back and Microsoft will have released 10 first party titles.
10 first party titles.
Yep.
You want to name if you name 7 of well, if you name no, hold on. If you name 8 of them, I'll give you an extra point.
Okay. All right. So Redfall, Starfield, Forza, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, Age of Empires 4 console, Minecraft Legends. Okay. Then after that, it gets dicey because Aura is only scheduled for PC right now. And I'm not going to count PC only launches here. I'm talking about on console. Okay. So I'm not going to include Aura in that because that's not scheduled. So I got 6. So this is why this is a wild one, folks, right?
Yeah.
Am I missing any of the other obvious ones, Matt?
I don't think so. There was, well, I mean, that's not an obvious one because we don't know the name of it, but
right, that's what I'm saying. Anything that we know, like that's scheduled this year.
Yeah, you could name like the studio that's coming out with their game.
Right.
You could do
That's what I'm saying. Okay, all right. So that's 6. So I got to come up with 4 more by the end of this year. And again, I didn't say AAA, so this is any size, right? This is any size. All right. All right. I didn't realize I was putting myself quite in this box.
I just thought you don't have to. We can leave it at
that.
that.
That's okay. That's okay.
I've never known you went to back down. I can
name games. I can name games because if one does happen to show up, all right. So
all you need is 2 to get the extra point.
Exactly. So I'll go with Coalition's smaller project, whatever that is.
Okay.
Okay. And then I will go with Avowed.
Okay.
Hellblade 2.
Okay.
And I will say for my final one to make 10. This would be a crazy year, folks. Both Hellblade 2 and Avowed aren't coming out this year. Just let you know. But this
he's betting on one of the 2 here.
I'm betting on one of the 2, and then one that I'm not aware of that I can't guess at least coming out as well, which could potentially happen because we heard there's a smaller Pentiment type project that might be announced during the showcase, but I don't know if it's ready for this year or not. And then I'll say whatever id's been working on.
Quake game. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right. So you got Redfall, Starfield, Forza, Age 2, Age 4, Minecraft Legends, Coalition, smaller game, Avowed, Hellblade 2, and id's game.
Yep.
Bold.
Wild. Crazy. Yeah. I still think we get 8 realistically, but 10 is pushing it. 10 is really pushing it.
All right. Wild prediction. Everwild releases in 2023.
Releases in 2023.
Everwild releases holiday next year.
Okay. All right.
Hear me out. Out of all the projects they have announced, that one predates them all.
Again, it would help my prediction, so I'm all for it. So let's go.
Remember, this is a wild bet.
This is a wild bet.
Everwild. 2023. Let's go.
All right.
Wow, it also could be canceled.
VR games. Interesting.
Umbra says that's ludicrous.
That's ludicrous. Yeah, that's about right. Infinite. I agree with you, brother. All right. Another wild one. Okay. So I'm gonna take back your safe bet by adding to it. So Nintendo announces their Switch 2 next year, along with a spring 2024 release window, and Metroid making a comeback with Metroid 4 Prime for the launch date, along with a brand new Mario game.
Okay. Fair enough. I see what you did is you took my safe bet and you turned it into a wild bet.
Right, a wild
because
bet.
I could also guarantee you those would probably be the 2 launch titles that would be there if it was in March of next year. or for
spring of 2024.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yep.
Man, but Metroid has been vaporware, for a long time.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'll tell you, I'll accept it. I think it's a little safer than Everwild. That's crazy.
No, it's safer. I think Everwild is like the bar. Okay, so
so?
That's like the high point. Yes, that's the high point of the wild bets. Yeah,
right. Well, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for for everything. And you know what? I'll say, Pong, that if both of those games actually do hit, as well, you get an extra point for that as well, because you added so much detail to that. So I want to go back to my Everwild one as well and say that it's going to be.
Are you going to actually say what the game is?
I'll
give you a bonus point if you give me the genre.
Monster Companions.
Okay, all right, we'll make
it's in the Monster Companion genre.
Okay,
and
all right.
whatever that is, and it will come out in October.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, bonus so those are the bonus. That's the I get. If I get both those, bonus point. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Here we go.
Back to you, sir. You still got to come up with another one.
Monster Companion, John. I have to write this down.
Monster Companion.
All right. Okay. Next up, I could turn my safe bet and flip it and turn it into a wild bet. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say next year, one big additional massive perk of some service or something out there, like another subscription service or like for gaming or something else, not Ubisoft Plus. I'm not gonna count that because that's being too safe.
Yep.
Something else that we don't know about will be added to the Game Pass Ultimate lineup.
So an unknown
entity. It could be like a Netflix partnership. Or it could be like a EA Play Plus could come. It could be like
Are we limiting this to games, or are you saying like if Netflix shows up?
Not limited to games. Right, like if it basically something massive that if you sign up to Game Pass Ultimate, you also get this, and it can't just be like a little Game Pass perk thing. I'm talking about something as substantial as like
Disney Plus shows up in Game Pass.
Like something as substantial as like when EA Play hit Game Pass. That was a big deal, right? Now Ubisoft Plus was supposed to be not part of Game Pass, and I'm not going to include that because if that happened, it's being too safe. Does this have to be
for the console, or do we get another Riot Games?
It's open to Riot Games is like I just add that as like game content. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's in the realm of like another service being added.
Okay.
Right? Another service that is going to give you access to a shit ton of stuff. Right? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
It's got to be like another streaming service or another subscription service or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. That's going to be added to Game Pass. But Microsoft's going to pull out their pockets and make a deal with somebody. I think.
Okay. All right. Got you. Some more for the chat here. Let's see. Fable will come out before Everwild, Brother Chris says. That is also a wild prediction, sir. Star Traffic says Compulsion Games new game will come out this year. I'm assuming you mean 2023. So we're not going to
Yeah.
say 2022. But Compulsion
Shadow
Games
drop.
showing up 2023 would help my prediction. So I appreciate that. And that is kind of a wild one because we don't know how close or how far they are. So I will definitely count that in the wild one as well. Thank you for that. And we got a super chat from Sauron Grant saying, do you think Xbox releases Game Pass numbers at the showcase? And what do you guys guess it is? Just showing support, guys. Thank you for the
Appreciate
support. Appreciate you, Sauron Grant, for sure, 100%.
It's a good question.
It's a very good question, actually. Actual specific numbers. I don't think we see numbers from Xbox until the ABK deal is done. So if the ABK deal is done, according to Infinite Umbra, which is before Diablo 4 releases, then yes, I think we will hear Game Pass numbers. And I say next showcase, they announce 30 million. That's my guess.
Think 30?
30.
I wonder if they're already over 30. It'd be
well,
close.
According to the docs, Sony said what, 28, 29? I think Sony said in their docs. So they're close, but we know
when were
Microsoft
those documents written?
Probably early on in response to the ABK deal. So
So
this year.
I'm thinking they're like creeping upon 30, right?
They're not going to announce 35.
You got to think about the holiday season right now and how many subscriptions that probably added to them, and then what's coming up in the next few months as well. I think they will be over 30 for sure by E3 time.
Will they do that, or will they downplay it again?
It depends, again, like you said, if the ABK deal is closed. But again, that's got to be public information as well to them if they're asking questions back and forth. I don't know how that stuff works, right? But I would say the next announcement we get from them may not be till we get 35. You're on mute, bro.
I said fair enough. They might hold off until they get another prime number or until they see another significant jump.
Or maybe 40 mil. They could wait till that. Like
they could wait till then.
That's just the way they operate for some reason. You know what I mean? It's like, who knows? I think that once they reach a major milestone, they'll want to put it out there, right? Because it's good for doing their deals with publishers and all that kind of stuff, and all that, and get more developers and publishers interested in Game Pass. But I don't know. Yeah, the ABK thing is the only thing kind of holding that back. And if they've only gone from like 25 to 30 from the last announcement, that's not really screaming from the rooftops of like a huge accomplishment. So I think they may wait. But I think next year is also going to have the biggest surge of Game Pass subscribers that we've had since Game Pass became a thing.
Yes.
Right? I think like you could potentially see a crazy like 50% growth or something like next year.
Potentially, yes.
Like because of the games that are happening, especially if we get those 10 first parties, Pong. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And this goes also
100%.
PC, and you got Monster Hunter Rise coming in there as well. You got lots of amazing
first half
stuff.
is ridiculous. I'm sure they're going to see a jump in the first half alone.
Yeah.
Especially if they do a showcase highlighting again how many third-party titles they have coming into Game Pass and how big they are along with those first-party titles. Yeah, I could definitely see significant growth. I just think that Microsoft always downplays their numbers. So that's why I said 30 if they announce it at the showcase. But you have a great point, Matt. They might wait until there's a bigger number in there. They might.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be huge. And yeah, Vampire Zombie agrees with us that 2023 will bring millions of new Game Pass users. Yeah, this was a slow growth year, which Phil talked about openly. But as the consoles continue to sell, as more people have access to the ecosystem, and as these games actually do start dropping in 2023, that should pick back up again. And like Mav said, it could be a giant explosion as if their first party titles hit the way we expect some of them to, especially Starfield. If that hits, and that's the next big thing that everybody is talking about, you're going to see those numbers skyrocket.
And that doesn't include those third-party exclusives like I see Vampire Zombie saying like Stalker 2, Atomic Heart, Lies of P, which has a lot of hype as well. Like there's so many different games. There's more too that are coming to Game Pass. Replaced
Warhammer Dark Tide finally showing up and all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
Replaced is going to be pretty popular. Isn't Silk Song, Hollow Knight Silk Song also supposed to be next year? That's it.
Yep.
You cannot estimate the power of that game.
Yes.
That indie community is like, that's like the darling of the indie game.
Ask Indie Gamer.
Yeah.
Ask Indie Gamer. When he had the dev on, I forget the dev's name, but when he had the dev
his
on,
channel
his biggest shows.
For that. Oh yeah, it's
channel
crazy.
Exploded. It's crazy. Yep.
Yeah, that game's gonna be massive. All right, so whose turn is it?
Mine.
Yours? Okay. We need a wild one, bro.
We need a wild one.
Hey, I think after we're done with the 5 wild ones, we should do like one like just absolutely crazy ass fucking thing. And if you get it, you just win like a million points. Well,
you already sealed that with
No, that's not crazy. That's not as crazy as I can go. Come on.
Well, if we're gonna sit here and be like, Microsoft buys Sony, okay,
it still has to be in the realm of possibility. That is something the regulators would not allow. Absolutely.
No, that would never happen. All right. Another wild one for next year. All right. Let's go with, God, how crazy do I want to get here? All right, so I'll tack on to my safe PlayStation one. I'm trying to keep this. I'm trying to give fair play to everybody here.
Okay.
So I do like to think about everybody else. So I'm going to tack on to my safe play with PlayStation and their console next year. So they go down to 1 SKU with the PlayStation, but alongside that, they announced plans in 2024 to launch a PS5 Pro that actually does outperform any current console on the market, and they are shooting for 4K 60 with ray tracing.
Okay, so like a Pro PS5.
PS5, correct.
And
so I said before they go down to 1 SKU, they get a little bump in performance, right?
Like an Xbox One S style thing that happened, right?
Yes.
Okay. Fair, man, that's swinging for the fences, Pong. Especially with the rumors out there about the other one. But I like it. You know, we're not being safe here.
Nope.
So PS5 Pro. Man. All right. Fair enough. Well, shit. I'll go out on a limb and I say we get an announcement for a new Xbox version as well. And it is going to be a discless Series X with also a slight improvement somewhere in some way of some kind of technology or something, right?
Okay.
And that will come with the new controller that you talked about.
Okay. Yep. With the Elite 3.
Yeah.
With the haptics and all the DualSense features.
Yes.
Ooh.
It'll be the Xbox Series XS.
Oh, they could go back to the XP branding.
XP?
Series XP.
Oh my God. Windows XP wasn't bad. So.
Correct. I like it. Mav. Okay.
Yeah.
When is it going to launch?
It's going to launch in November with Hellblade 2.
Jesus. Okay. I didn't know we were doing our crazy ones right now.
And it'll be like the Xbox Series Z or some shit like that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. How many more do we got?
We've done 3 each, so we got 2 more wild ones.
Ooh, boy, oh boy. Holy cow. Really? Okay. Oh man. All right. Where do I want to go? I'd like to get a couple game ones in here. Just some I did kind of with my 10. My 10 announced. All right, let's see. I am going to say that despite what Phil had to say this year, despite his clear remarks from this year, that next holiday season, Xbox will launch a streaming device for the house or any TV for $99 with a controller.
Okay.
Not very crazy fun, but whatever.
I like it. I like it.
Still wild compared to what
Yeah.
Phil said. So,
man. All right, I gotta bring the cheddar here. Let's go. Gotta think. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go Nintendo here
okay.
and say we're gonna get 2 new game announcements that are going to bring beloved franchises back to life
Okay.
at the E3 Nintendo Direct.
Sure.
Those will later on also be launch quarter titles for the new Switch device that they will later announce in the year.
Okay.
There will be a new Star Fox,
Oh, okay.
and there
Like
will
it.
be a new F-Zero.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Going back to the pipeline of great IP that they've laid dormant for way too long.
I like it.
These are maybe wishful thinking bets.
Calarie coming through. Xbox announces a partnership with Steam, putting Game Pass native on the Steam Deck. Also, Steam gets an Xbox app with full keyboard and mouse integration. Ooh.
Ooh.
I like it.
Okay.
Big step. Big step. I like it. Sauron Grant says if Xbox produces a new Xbox before they release next current gen games, then I'm changing my hobby. That would be nuts. Like if all the games are still delayed, they still came out and announced new hardware. That would be nuts. All right. Let's see here. WhySoSerious says Amazon buys Sony and releases PS5 Prime. I like that one too.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
a good one, brother.
Could Amazon get away with buying Sony, you think?
Ooh, because of the movie business, I don't think so. Because of the movies, they would have to divest themselves of the movie side. From a hardware side, I think they probably could, since they don't have a lot in the gaming space. But the movie side would be the sticking with the FTC and other regulators for sure.
Yeah,
that would be too much power.
And if they made it, you can only buy a PlayStation on Amazon.
I mean, they threw a stink about MGM. For God's sakes, can you imagine them acquiring Sony?
Amazon's playing a different game right now because they've switched to become a multi-platform publisher.
Correct. Yep.
Interesting.
Which is actually awesome.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's awesome to see them.
I welcome that, actually.
You know. I do welcome that. Obviously, there's still a lot of questions, and again, what is Luna? How does Luna figure into this? But to have another third-party publisher with a lot of money, a lot of reach is always a good thing. More games get made that way, so I'm for it. And if they're slowly but surely learning the industry before jumping in, I'm cool with that as well. Besides just jumping in, blowing shit up, and then walking away from it like Google, right? So yes, exactly. So I'm more in favor of this if they continue down this road. So, all right. So I'm going to stick on the games predictions here as well for new announcements, Matt.
Okay.
I think next year we get announcements for, and this is going to be, we're going to go for a trifecta here.
Okay.
Go for a trifecta here. I think. All right. We're going to get new announcements next year. Coalition is going to announce Gears 6 next year. Obsidian, in partnership with Bethesda, is going to announce Fallout New Vegas. I'm not going to call it New Vegas. It's going to be set in a different city, New Chicago, New York, whatever the case may be. We are going to get that in-between game. Yes, New Chicago is probably the best bet out of the cities right now. So I think we get a game in partnership between the two devs to give us that Fallout game that's going to kind of help carry over the fan base until obviously Fallout 5 can come along, which is about at least 8 years away, if not longer. So 8 to 10 years away. So I think we do get that announcement as well. And then on top of that, I had one more, and I got to remember what it was. Hold on. Give me a second here. Give me 1 second. I had one more in there. What did I have in there? What did I have in there? And on top of that, then I am going to say the ABK deal is done. And Phil's first big announcement is that they're reviving StarCraft out of that as well. That's my trifecta. So we get announcements of Gears 6, a new Fallout in between game with Obsidian and Bethesda partnering, and StarCraft being revived.
Okay. I love it, man. It's wild.
It's wild.
It's wild. I like it. All right. I'm going to say that Xbox is going to announce a Star Wars exclusive.
Ooh, buddy.
They are going to announce a Marvel exclusive.
Ooh, buddy.
And it will be X-Men themed. Something involving X-Men.
Don't break my heart, Mav. Don't break my heart. I want to believe already.
Indiana Jones will be revealed to be an exclusive.
Oh, okay.
And as part of that, they're announcing a partnership going forward with licensing games from Disney. And this is going to come from the Bethesda side.
Wow. This is highly detailed, Mav. Holy shit.
Yeah,
okay.
and they will do, those will be the first 3, but there will be a potential of future more games. Disney and the Marvel side and the Lucasfilm side are LucasArts, whatever they are now. Lucasfilm Games, I forget their names now, but they're willing to play with anybody now, right? They're willing to do deals. They're willing to, like, hey, you can get a game, you get a game, you get a game. EA, you get more games. The EA just announced, I think they just did some more stuff with them, I think, recently, right? So I think that is going to be a bold strategy for Microsoft, but because of the Bethesda relationship that they already have built there, they're going to let Bethesda run with that. And after the ABK deal closes, they will continue. They will get back to some of their licensed games as well.
Wow.
And in Microsoft, traditional Microsoft first party will stick to the Microsoft traditional IPs. So that is, I'm saying a Star.
That's a lot.
I know. Star Wars. Sorry. Star Wars. This could also happen with the Disney Plus announcement with Game Pass. Star Wars, X-Men, Indiana Jones is exclusive. Announcement of future games coming from the Disney family.
Damn.
That's it.
Okay. All right. I like it. I like it, brother.
How much would that hype people up if that happened? I think.
God, that would hype. Again, Xbox and X-Men on Xbox alone would be. Again, we've talked about this so many times. The marketing rights itself would be perfect. It'd be dream. It would be an absolute dream.
Gambit will be on the cover. I'm not going to say that. Insane. I'm not going to say that because that's not going to happen. But oh my God, I would shit myself.
Nola Rogan says, crazy prediction. Sony drops MLB The Show rights due to them not wanting the game going to Game Pass day one, and Xbox signs a deal with MLB. I like it. It would be crazy. It would be cool to see Microsoft create a dev studio focused on sports games. That would be insane.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I like it. I like that one too. RWK, real quick, personal side note, RWK asked about how my dad and the family's doing down in Florida. They are now back in Florida. They had come up here while their house was being redone, and they are now back down there. Unfortunately, Some of the one of the contractors lied while they were up here, which my dad knew was going to happen. So what was supposed to be finished was not finished. So they had to stay with some friends, but they are now back in the house and getting things back together. So appreciate the ask there, RWK, for sure. So everything's good to go. They're getting back to normal as much as can be down there. So thank you for that question. All right. Is that 5 each, or do we still have one more?
Let me see. Let me count here real quick. I got 10 first-party titles from you.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
I got the PS5 Pro. Got the streaming device for the TV, and then I got your
Mm-hmm.
Gears 6 Obsidian, all that, and then I got.
Okay, so we got.
Do I have 5 or do I only have 4? No, you have 5.
Only have 4. I got 5. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got
all
5. Right. I counted 5.
So 1, you should 2, have 5 because you just 4, ended. 5. Yeah. So now we got to do the crazy, wild nuts thing.
Yes. Did I just do that almost? Okay. No. Yeah. Anyway, let's.
Yeah.
No. I did. That wasn't. I was saying some of ours could have been that. They were that far,
yes.
right?
Yes, they were.
But we're going big here. We don't play too safe. Safe is boring. Yeah. Even our safe bets are a little crazy. Do you think either of us are gonna get any damn points?
Probably not. But go ahead. We're too optimistic. That's what happens.
You think so? Right. I don't know if we're gonna.
I
don't know if we're gonna get anything actually.
All right, you got to start this one off. You got to go with your big, crazy, wild dream first.
All right, big, crazy, wild thing that's probably in a million years not going to happen. It's going to give me 1,000,000 points if it does.
Yes.
Man, I got to process this for a second because I'm trying to. If it's impossible to happen, I don't want to say it.
Right.
It's got to be in the realm of some kind of possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got it. I got it because this is a pipe dream.
Okay.
But the ABK deal falls through. CMA, EU, Rise create too much of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Deal doesn't happen. Everybody's fuck. This sucks. Like everybody's like, oh shit, the ponies won, the FTC won, all that stuff, right? Less than a month later, swooping in to steal them from Universal.
Okay.
Microsoft announces the acquisition of WB Discovery is going to happen. And
so they pivot to WB Discovery.
They pivot to WB Discovery. They were going to go to Universal. They're saying now they're going to go to Microsoft.
Yep.
The rumors are Universal. Anything can happen. And with that, they talk about the plans to open up the Xbox ecosystem and the partnership with the HBO side and all that is going to do things for their gaming on their TV shows and all that kind of stuff. But they're going to talk about making DC games and what that's going to bring. And also Ed Boon will celebrate with a Killer Instinct tweet. If Ed Boon doesn't immediately make a tweet about Killer Instinct after this deal is announced, it doesn't count. Okay? So first off, the ABK deal has to fall through, which I don't think is going to happen. Second off, they have to go out and buy WB Discovery, which everybody thinks that is already a done deal with Universal behind closed doors, and they just can't do it yet because of they have to exist for a certain amount of time before or whatever. That plus the Ed Boon tweet.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. It's realm of possibility. It's in a realm of possibility. The question is, would they be able to do that acquisition if the ABK deal fell through? I think so, because they're not anywhere near as big.
Okay. All right.
Let's go.
All right. Well, since you went Xbox, I'll go Sony on this was gonna go Xbox, but I will go Sony on this one. Sony, in its infinite wisdom, after the ABK deal closes this year, realizes that they can't compete, that they will fall to third place, that they don't have the resources to do what Microsoft is doing, and so they feel trapped.
Like a rat trapped in a cage.
They're trapped in a cage and they can't get out. And as Sony's stock continues to fall, they have to make a decision to face a hostile takeover or to find a savior.
Okay.
And they find a savior. They get a lifeline. And that lifeline is Apple. And Apple reaches out and suggests not a buyout, not an acquisition, but a merging of their two companies. So Apple and Sony in 2023 announce a merger in which they will compete directly on all fronts. And Apple gets what they need, what they've always wanted, which was a TV market, an actual physical, the actual electronics version.
Sony TVs will automatically be Apple branded and stuff.
Yep, 100%. They also get Sony exclusive games into the Apple store. And Sony gets the lifeline they need, actually more than a lifeline. They now have the resources to match what Xbox does, and it goes from there. So I will say an Apple-Sony merger.
And then we'll have, if that were to happen, we'll have the real battle of the Titans at that point. Microsoft versus Apple, Xbox versus Sony, Microsoft versus, Xbox versus PlayStation. That would be crazy, bro. I want to live in that world. I just want to see it happen. But I want to see it happen only if Microsoft gets WB Discovery. I think they got to do WB Discovery and ABK. Because they need ABK to do the Apple thing, right? So ABK plus WB Discovery against Apple and PlayStation. That's a fair fight.
Right.
It's a fair fight.
Right. Yes. It would be crazy. It would be insane, bro.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome for gamers. Talk about choices, because they would have to move in the same world, the same direction that Xbox is, right? And Apple knows that. Apple's always on the forefront. They're always looking ahead. They will see the future. They have the resources to start up a streaming service that puts games in their day and date. They have all the resources to match one for one what Microsoft does, period. And maybe even then some. So yes.
So what happens?
That's my crazy one.
Then Amazon doubles down at that point.
Gets Nintendo.
It gets Nintendo. So then we'll have Microsoft and Xbox versus Amazon, Nintendo.
We're describing Lena Khan's nightmares. Her worst nightmares come true. Like these giant $1 trillion conglomerates showing up and buying up everything.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Shout out to Patman Jones. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you dropping in here. Guardian Black, always great to see you in here too as well. Deccaddo, what's going on, Deccaddo? I didn't see you before in here. Lewis, Jose, what's going on? Great to have you joining the chat. Caper Grant in here as well. We did shout outs earlier, but I just want to catch a couple late people that I didn't see before. So appreciate y'all being in here. God Emperor, Sofa King, I see you as well. Mav, I think we went out there, brother. I think we went out there.
We definitely did. I mean, to recap, Pong, your safe bets were a new place. These are our safe bets. It's so stupid. A new PlayStation console with a slight performance bump. So you adding the performance bump, I think, made this leave the safe bet territory, but it's okay. We'll see.
Kind of, but it makes sense. It makes sense too if you think about it. I didn't say like some draft. I didn't say we're gonna hit 12 teraflops.
You're talking about Xbox One to Xbox One S style thing, right?
Right.
Which did the same thing. It basically they made it like less reliant on or they it wasn't the Xbox One like variable and stuff, and then they like allocated more performance to it. And then
More
also Xbox
performance
One S
again.
had HDR
Yes.
as well.
Correct.
But it didn't have necessarily more horsepower. They just unlocked more of what potential
They
was
unlocked
there.
and they got rid of the bottlenecks and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
that
yeah.
they were having issues with. Yeah.
Similar. I could see that. I could see that. Then you went on to say Xbox. Wait, what is this?
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Two Xbox fall holiday games.
Yes.
Is what you said for safe bet.
Yes. Yep.
You went on to say that Factions happens next year.
Yep.
Then you went on to say a new controller for next year for Xbox.
Yep.
And then you said a June showcase with Game Pass Family.
Yes.
Was a safe bet.
That is correct.
Those are some of them are pretty safe. I would say the Game Pass Family. I would say what's more safe if it's by June of next year.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying
because
it
could happen.
I think it's a showcase one.
Showcase.
I think it's
okay.
a showcase one.
All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep.
My safe bets was Xbox show has 2 release dates in January, February, and that's going to be between January 23rd to February 7th. And there's going to be 2 Xbox release dates. It'll probably be Redfall and Starfield. But we'll see. I don't know. But two release dates at that Xbox show for first party games. A new Nintendo hardware announcement was one of my safe bets. I think it could happen. Ubisoft Plus just disappears into the ether and never is discussed again. For console.
Right.
That might not be very safe, but it fits along with what's happening right now. So, then Forza Motors, Fuzzy's gonna hate me for this one. The Forza Motorsport
Yes,
car lineup is gonna be smaller than Forza Motorsport 2. And Xbox will have a quarterly show starting next year. So those are the safe bets. Okay. I don't know how safe they are for either of us, but we'll each get a point for those.
Well, we had to go different too, Mav, because again, the obvious ones we could have done is stuff that we've talked about a billion times, right?
Right.
So we kind of went on the outer edges of like stuff that's been kind of smoke out there, that kind of stuff that we've heard about. So that's all we did.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yep.
Now for wild bets, Pong the Nostradamus. He's playing King David at this point.
Don't put any money down on any of this stuff. Folks,
the over under on this would not be very good. The odds are not in your favor. 10 first party titles happening next year for Xbox, and he goes on to list. Now we added the incentive. He gets an extra point if he gets 8 of these correct.
Yes.
But there's got to be 10. If you don't get 10 first party titles, doesn't count.
I should have swapped out one for In Exile's new game or Compulsions. I would have had a better chance.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's too late.
Yep. Too late. I know.
Redfall, Starfield, Forza, Age 2, Age 4, Minecraft Legends, Coalition's smaller game, Avowed, Hellblade 2, and id's game. That was the one that shocked the hell out of me. I thought you would have went like with Tango Gameworks.
They've been working on something.
Or something.
No, they've been working on something since Doom Eternal, and if it's a Quake reboot, there's chances that it's ready.
I hear. We did think Quake, new Quake was going to get announced last year, and it never happened.
Yeah, QuakeCon is next year. It'd be a perfect time. I could see it happening out of the blue.
Right.
They've been known to do that over at Bethesda. So
you went on to say that Switch 2 will be released in spring of 2024.
Yes.
With Metroid 4 at launch, plus a brand new Mario game.
Yes.
Okay. If you get that, it's 5 points, man. You went on to say a PS5 Pro.
Yep.
Like it, not just a slight boost. You're talking about like a PS5 to PS5 Pro, like a PS4 to PS4 Pro.
Yes.
Like targeting 4K 60 with ray tracing.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And that'll be 2024. Will be the release.
What if it targets it, but none of the games actually do it?
Well, then they didn't give it the performance boost.
Because we can see that world also. We always
but then they didn't do it right. Then they didn't do it right at all.
Then also streaming device for the TV for Xbox. You went on to say that.
And the only reason why I said that was wild is because Phil said no, years away.
He said it's far away, right?
Yeah, yep, exactly.
So it would be a surprise. Then you went on to say Gears 6, Obsidian's Fallout new something.
Yes.
Like a new Chicago, like I would say like a new Paris. That'd be cool. Like a new anything. Like
New York.
Yeah. That would be amazing. Yeah. I love that prediction. And the ABK deal is done, and Phil's announcement Phil's announces that he's reviving StarCraft.
Yep.
Okay. What if somebody else announces it? Because you said Phil.
That's fine.
Okay.
You know what I meant. The StarCraft revival is announced because
so like, what if Micah, like the ABK deal's done, and then Micah Barra shows up and says it?
That's fine. It still counts.
Okay. Right.
The focus was the games. I just said
I got it. Out of excitement because we love them. All right. Then my wilds was Everwild. It's coming out next year.
That's nuts.
And in October, and it's a monster companion genre.
That was the best.
I don't know what, that's what it looks like. I don't know what it is. Big Game Pass partnership, massive thing. I'm talking about a Disney Plus, Netflix is included if you sign up for Game Pass Ultimate. Something in that realm. Maybe Steam. Something. I don't know. Some of Steam. I don't know. Something crazy. Something crazy that's not Ubisoft Plus, because we already kind of have it.
That was going to be my other wild one was that Steam is now integrated into Xbox, and you can play all the games across Steam on console.
It'd be amazing.
That would be insane. Yeah,
it would make sense why Gabe loved Xbox so much.
Yep.
All right, and then I wanted to say a new Xbox Series version, maybe the Series Z, who knows exactly, launching in November with Hellblade 2 and a new controller, and it'll be a discless like style Series X. It'll be a little smaller, and it'll have like some kind of like slight performance enhancement, but also launch with the new controller that Pong predicted earlier.
Yep, that was awesome. I like that one.
Okay. So first, one of your safe bets has to come true for this to come true.
Yes.
I just gave you a point. That's
but you're going to gain 5.
You're right.
So,
you're right.
Yeah.
It's like fantasy football. It's like took one of your receivers away from you.
Exactly.
By drafting the quarterback. Okay.
Correct. You're a +4 in that scenario. So that's good.
All right. A Nintendo Star Fox and F-Zero will be announced as launch titles launch window titles for the new Switch.
Yep.
That was one of mine. And then Star Wars game will be there will be announced a new Star Wars exclusive game, a new Marvel X-Men exclusive game. Indiana Jones will be announced that it's exclusive, and also they will announce a future ongoing partnership making games from at least the Bethesda side with Disney IPs.
Yes. Which is pretty out there, but I like it. Of course.
I'm trying to just wish this stuff into existence, man.
Right. No,
I know
what you're trying to do. Yeah.
The crazy bet Pong says Apple merged with Sony.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. That is a crazy one. In that same world, also Microsoft gets ABK and WB Discovery, and also Amazon gets Nintendo. Then we're living
$3 trillion companies in the industry. Oh boy.
And then my crazy bet was WB Discovery gets acquired by Microsoft, and Ed Boon has to make a tweet.
ABK deal falls apart
first, pivot. And then they pivot. They get WB Discovery.
Yep.
And right after that, Ed Boon makes a Killer Instinct tweet.
What happens if it's not Ed Boon?
It has to be Ed Boon.
Okay, you're sticking with that.
No, it's the wild one. It's worth 1,000,000 points, man.
Okay,
I got to go for the gold. And I bet you nothing. Bet you everything. If Xbox and Microsoft acquired WB Discovery, Ed Boon's first tweet would be a Killer Instinct something. I think that's a safe bet.
That's actually a safe bet. I mean, I'm surprised neither one of us said Ed Boon announces Killer Instinct next year. So, because that's
we know he's got a new game next year.
Yeah, we know he's got multiple games in the works.
Yeah.
So the odds of Killer Instinct coming from Ed Boon go up.
So it's got to be Ed Boon make that tweet, otherwise it doesn't count, right?
Shout out to you, Jerrold Mack. Good to see you, brother, man. I hope you're having a great evening, sir.
This was fun, Pong.
Yeah, this was fun.
What does the loser have to do?
Nothing. We're not doing that.
Okay. That's gonna like make you play like It Takes Two finally. Or something.
If we were gonna have something on the line, I would have been prepping for this all week.
Okay.
Like, this was...
you have to say Mav is my favorite person in the world, and he makes me better at everything that I do.
Okay, that goes for both of us, so that's a reverse as well.
Okay,
so if you lose, you got to do the same damn thing. Okay,
I guess.
Not doing some crazy bet like Jeff Grubb where he loses all his damn hair.
Oh yeah, yeah. In a new year, we have hairless Grubb. Amazing.
Hairless Grubb. Yep. But he looks good with short hair too. Yeah. So he's lucky. After all this time, you never know what it's gonna be like. I'm sure it actually probably feels good, and he's not gonna have to take care of it. He might actually likes that short hair at this point. So
yeah,
kind of nice for him. But it was crazy to see it
all the time.
Yeah. Yep. It was kind of crazy. $2 super chat from Jerrold Mack. 2023 do or die for Xbox. Listen, Jerrold. 2023 happens and they have a year like they did this year. We're gonna have some talks.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some talks next year for sure, 100%. None of us believe that's going to be the case at all next year. Again, safe bet. I think that we see 7 to 8 first parties this year. Titles, not all AAA, but I think that overall. So, but if that did happen, sir, we'd be having some serious conversations here on Xbox Ultimate and everywhere. So don't disagree with you there. $5 Victor Alistine. What's going on, Victor? Great to see you. It'd be nice if Xbox could bring some old games remastered to Xbox. Just start playing Sleeping Dogs and think Game Pass could have helped it. 100%, sir. I've talked about this in the past. There was smoke that Bethesda was starting a new studio to start remastering or redoing some of their old titles. If that's the case, perfect opportunity for Xbox to do the same thing. I'd love to see it. I'm all for it. No, I don't want to see everything, remastered or remade, but I think some titles do deserve it, and I think it would be awesome. And maybe this year that'll come true, that we'll hear Bethesda actually did start a studio to do that. Vik The CLiCK member for 7 months. Take a manscape to the left eyebrow. No, sir. No, sir.
I got to go out in public. There's a funny story about me though. I gotta say.
Yeah. Did you do the vanilla ice and shave?
No, I didn't.
Okay, all right.
But I did when I was a teenager. I got a job at Radio Shack. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was in the mall. And my first day, they give me like 10 books. And they say you got to like study all these and you got to do all these tests.
Sure.
And so it took me like 2 weeks or so of sitting in there because like I didn't know like what a transistor was or any of this stuff. They went in depth on this stuff. I mean, like it's like college level like shit here with technology.
Electronics.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy, and I had read and look forward and then go back to the answer, answer everything, and I sat there for like every day in the food court doing this, and you guys probably noticed that I get fidgety, and I kind of go like this a lot, right? And I was just like doing this like constantly for like 2 weeks, doing these damn books, and I had realized later I had rubbed off my entire eyebrow. I pretty much rubbed off my entire eyebrow, and my sister couldn't stand it. I had to go to Christmas at my grandparents, so she drew an eyebrow.
She did? Oh my god!
I rode with them, and she made me draw an eyebrow.
Oh my god! If you have pictures, that'd be freaking amazing.
But my eyebrow was like rubbed off, man. I was like, oh shit, But
I knew somebody who picked when they fidgeted, that they picked their eyebrows.
Yeah,
they had super thin eyebrows from it.
Yeah,
because they would sit there and just pick the hairs out. Yeah. Man. No doubt. That's crazy though, that you were that stressed into your books that you were just
I mean it's crazy because like not long after that the Radio Shack closed.
So lost an eyebrow for nothing, man.
Yeah. I just wanted to sell cell phones. They sold cell phones and stuff there at the time. I just wanted to sell cell phones, but it was crazy.
Oh my god. What just happened? Said I didn't know you could rub an eyebrow out. Pause. Yeah, you can, I guess. Mav proved it.
Yeah, you can. Did we get Victor Alistine's super chat?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, okay. Just make sure. The Sleeping Dogs. And all right.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, because we were talking about the remaster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We did do that. Vampire Zombie said, I've heard In Exile is working on something that will change the industry. Listen, In Exile, that's the part that Mav and I have talked about here. We've talked about on other shows too, that people don't understand when they talk about all these studios that Xbox acquired, especially that batch back in 2017 or whatever it was, 2018, that they don't understand that these studios are growing, that Xbox is growing these studios organically, and that these studios are going. In Exile is obviously well known for Wasteland, obviously the original creators of Fallout. We know the stories there. If you've been around long enough, you know where In Exile comes from. In Exile is one of those studios, along with Compulsion, that is trying to take a leap into the AAA. And they've grown their studios, and that's why it's taken so long. When people complain or talk about what have these studios been doing, these studios are trying to make a leap into something a lot bigger. And if there's a team that can come up with something different or genre defining or a game that no one expected, it's In Exile. They have some of the best writers, and they aren't known as well as your Obsidians, as your Bethesdas, as your Naughty Dogs, all these, because their games have never been that big before. Now they're trying to go that route. So people are going to get to know In Exile real quick when their game actually does show off, because they've already got the character building, the world building. They are masters at that. Just because not a lot of people played their old games because they were top-down strategy style tactical games doesn't mean they don't have the chops to pull off a AAA actual kind of bigger audience type game, whether it's first person or third person, but a huge world, open world. They could pull this off. I have utmost faith that whatever In Exile shows, when they show it, it's going to be something that knocks our socks off. And people are going to start realizing that In Exile is one of those studios that probably was in the shadows for too long. And it's going to be impressive and awesome to see when it happens. You agree, Mav?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year's gonna be insane, man.
Next year's gonna be really insane.
I can't, like, Xbox has like got so much going on. Everybody, all these third parties got so much going on, man. Like, all these genres are being reinvigorated. All these studios are being getting their feet back under them, you know, and getting to the finish line on stuff that's been in the works for so long. I feel like 2023 is probably going to be one of the best years ever, and for Xbox, I think it will be the best year ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Xbox will dominate the conversation and the mind share of gaming in 2023.
Yep.
I think Xbox is going to have a Game Pass explosion in 2023.
Yep.
I think that the whole conversation that's been going on for forever about Xbox and the only thing they're missing is games and all this stuff, that will be dead, because not only will we have the avalanche of games that's hitting next year, we're also going to get on track with those shows and the announcements for the following year. And at that point, the proof is going to be in the pudding. Everything's going to be there. Yep. You're going to see a lot of people willing to get an Xbox than ever were before. I think that PlayStation's still going to do well. They're going to do their thing. Got great exclusives next year. A lot of excited people still on PlayStations, and I think they're going to keep doing great. Nintendo, I think, is going to have a fall off until the new Zelda game hits.
Nintendo's going to Nintendo, man. They're always going to be there.
But their hardware sales were actually down this past year.
You know, because they're reaching that threshold now, right?
Exactly.
They're finally reaching the maximum amount of customers they can possibly get out of it.
And I think that's going to continue that trend where it's going to keep declining, because this is what happened.
Tears of the Kingdom, or whatever the new Zelda's called, is going to push them again a little bit. But I think that's why next year we're both spot on that they do announce their hardware next year for sure.
It's very common for a Zelda game to come at the end of a console cycle for Nintendo. Mm-hmm. It happened with Wind Waker.
Yep.
Didn't that come out on the Wii U and also the Wii?
Mm-hmm.
Then it happened on Breath of the Wild. I think this next one could be the next thing there.
Correct.
So,
yep.
But man, so much stuff to play, and
2023 is going to be insane. no matter what happens at the end of the day, just with what's confirmed right now for the first half that we know is coming the first half between first party, second party, and third party, it's crazy. It's so again, the game awards next year are going to be a bloodbath. I can't imagine how they're going to whittle it down to 6 games or 5 games next year for game of the year, because there are so much potential. And again, we don't know anything until these games show up, but right now, just on paper, it's going to be an just unbelievable year, no matter where you game at. And even with PlayStation not having a lot announced right now, the games that are announced outside of Forspoken, which is obviously got its issues that some people don't like, and obviously it's fair play. They put out the demo, but even just between Final Fantasy 16 and Spider-Man 2, those are 2 massive, massive games. And I know they've got surprises lined up. They're going to have another hopes and dreams type showcase next year from PlayStation. Even if they don't have a whole lot next year, they're going to come with the spectacular next year as well, selling people on that brand. They always do this. They're in a fight right now. They are going to come with their guns blazing. They have a lot of studios. They have a lot of projects in the works. Most of their studios, all of them, Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica, they're all working on 2 to more projects per each one of those studios. They've been growing as well over there. So expect them to come. Nintendo's going to have a great year, as they always do. And like Mav said, Xbox, again, we've taken a lot of heat in our shows because we've been critical of Xbox, but you know, because it's easier to remember the negative than it is the positive. But if
Right.
you guys have been listening to this show or Xbox Ultimate or FSP, any of the shows on Fun Speculations channel, we've been talking about this avalanche starting. We all thought it was going to start this year, but we've been talking about
Yeah.
this coming. And next year, we truly do believe is the year that Xbox comes with it. Again, we'll have the discussions. If it doesn't, there will be some hard discussions. But as it stands right now, we say next year is going to be the biggest year for Xbox. It's going to be gigantic and it's going to be fun. There's going to be non-stop games to play, whether you're buying them or whether you're playing them through Game Pass. It's going to be incredible next year. So looking forward to it, man, for sure. 100%. If that
Absolutely.
ABK deal closes, look out. Look out.
Oh my God. Add that on top of the year that they're already going to have.
Yes.
If that closes
Yes.
on top of the year they're
Yes.
already going to have.
Gonna have.
My God. And if you really look at it,
Yes.
the bigger picture, right? For when
Yeah.
we thought this next era, this is what this next things that happen is the new era of Xbox, right?
Yes.
And remember, like 2021 was a great year, but you know, you had Halo, Forza, right? Two traditional Xbox properties, right? Were the 2 big games. Then you had Psychonauts 2 and stuff in there. Flight Simulator came out on consoles and stuff like that. But this is like, we thought that the second half of this year was going to be that start, right?
Yep.
We didn't anticipate anything in the first half of this year.
Nope.
We anticipated it all in the second half, right?
Yep.
Well, and we only anticipated 2 games really for the second half of this year. So we thought that Redfall and Starfield was the start of this avalanche. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you really want to look at the bigger picture, when we go into like 2024, 2025, it's just kind of like this new era of Xbox has just gotten pushed back by a few months. At the end of the day,
essentially, yes.
That's what it is, right? So it sucks that it all encapsulated a whole year without a lot, because we can bookend January to December, you know, and say, what did you have for us? But at the end of the day, are they going to have more than enough in 2023 to make up for 2022? I think so, in spades and beyond, right? So a few months, I'm willing to pay that price, right, for what's coming, for sure. And that's why we were never worried. We just get frustrated at the lack of information, right? And they got to do better on that side, right?
They do.
With the marketing and stuff.
Communication wise, they've made strides over the past couple
Yeah.
years in their communication. There's just still some next steps that we felt that they need to take if they
I
want to position themselves with all this content, if they want to make
Mhm.
themselves the ultimate place for gaming, which is obviously their goal. There's a couple extra steps they got to take communication wise to make that happen leading up to this avalanche. So
I,
we'll see.
I think that
Yep.
part of this whole thing, the new era of Xbox, is also that new direction that they have with
Yes.
that stuff, right?
And
With
they
the
hired
marketing
for it, too.
side and everything. So I think I think this train is going to start, and potentially that train got pushed back with those games also, right? So this January, February thing,
Yep.
will probably be the start
Mhm.
of a brand new Xbox that we will remember the days between 2016 and or 2013 and 2022 really, and be like, well,
A
that
decade. A decade.
that was an
It's
interesting
crazy.
decade, pretty much. You know,
Yeah,
you had like
yeah.
ups and downs and swings and momentum changes and stuff, but like Insane Cakes, who was on our show
Mhm.
recently,
Yep.
he said this: we're at like the cusp of this. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And I really believe that. So, and I think it's gonna last a long time, bro. So get ready
It
for the
is.
good days, Xbox
It
fans,
is.
gamers,
Yep.
everywhere.
Gamers. We're closing out 2022, but we are in the golden age of gaming. Um, had some dips, had some unplanned stuff like the pandemic that obviously caused a lot of chaos. The ship shortage was a part of that. I mean, there's been so much that's happened that could not have been prepared for. But again, the amount of games coming out, third party wise, and Fastback, you know that Mav and I both agree with you. Third party is where really the most content comes from.
Yeah.
First party gives you an identity as a platform, and that's why it's still important that your first party delivers. But overall, we have not been short of games in any way, shape, or form. And unless you're very specific in your gaming habits, unless you look for a very specific type of game, then I could see you saying there hasn't been a whole lot for me. But for those of us out here like me and Mav that game a lot, all over the place, all different types of games, there's been something every single month. Even in this down year, there's been something every single month, even for an Xbox only player like myself. Mav has owned the Switch, he owns a PlayStation 5, he owns the Xbox. He's got more games than he knows what to do with. Me, as an Xbox only guy, I have more games than I know what to do with because the third parties have been coming through, because Game Pass has continued to provide tons and tons of content that I can't even get through. And then games like Midnight Suns come along and grab me like I didn't originally think it was going to. Again, it's crazy like that. So we are in the golden age of gaming, and we're going to see it play out over these next 3 to 5 years. I think is when we're really going to see this play out. A lot's going to change. A lot's going to happen. Even if the ABK deal doesn't go through, again, gaming goes on. Microsoft and Xbox aren't going to fold up shop. They're not going to quit, and gaming will go on.
Somebody in
Like
my
Mav
comments
said, it
said
doesn't
that
matter.
Phil will
Yeah.
resign if it doesn't go through.
Jesus, no, then you haven't been seeing the
if he
relationship
ends up
between
leaving,
Satya and Phil.
it's on good
Yes.
terms, 100%
Yes, on good
ever.
terms.
Like
Yes.
it'll be his
Yes.
choice when he leaves for sure.
Mhm.
Um,
But gaming will continue on. If Game Pass fails, gaming will continue on. Again, all these doomsday scenarios that everybody has, gaming will continue to survive. If it survived the Atari debacle, it can survive this. If Sega can stop making consoles and leave the market after being one of the biggest powerhouses, and be that space be filled by somebody like a Sony who came along, or an Xbox who came along to fill that hole as well, then gaming will continue. This is the biggest entertainment industry in the world. Nothing's going to change that, no matter what we think of here or in the community. It's going to continue on. We're all going to have more games than we know what to do with. That's the whole point. So, but I am happy to say, Mav, PM the PM closed out 2022 strong. Again, your channel saw tremendous growth this year, which is well deserved, beyond deserved for all the work you put in and Caitlin puts in and all the content you put out there. But PM and PM, man, We had a good run this year. And we saw our own little community that shows up each and every Thursday night for us grow as well, which was fantastic. And I can't thank you enough for this year, Mav, and giving me the captain's chair and a chance to run PM.
Best host on the channel, man. You deserve
Oh,
you deserve
brother,
the
that's
platform,
so
man.
stupid.
It
You're
is.
so
It's true.
stupid.
It's true.
You're so
I'm serious.
so
You got the talent, bro.
Anyways,
100%.
I just want to thank you, brother, personally from the bottom of my heart, and Caitlin for all that you've done for me, giving me my chance on Xbox Ultimate, and then growing from there along with you guys to now PM in the PM and all that we've done, all of our award shows and everything else, man. It's been a heck of a run, but 2022 was extra special because of you guys. And
Same,
obviously that extends to the chat as well. Again, as I just said, what we build here on PM to PM is cool. Everybody that shows up every single Thursday for us, all of you, our chat is lively. You can go into shows that supposedly have
400 people, 500, and there's 3 people. You know,
and there's 3 constant names popping up. The chat moves every once couple minutes, etc. That's not the case with our show, right? 50, 90, 100 some people each and every week showing up here, and the chat is flying, which means you guys are engaged, and we love getting you involved. That was one of the things that Steele and I did with Living Split Screen. It's one of the things that Mav and I talked about when we started PM in the PM. The chat is involved. The chat is a part of this show. So thank you all for making 2022 awesome as well. And I look forward to 2023. It's going to be a ride and a half. I know some of you are sick of the ABK deal. That's going to continue, but just the games that we're going to be talking about. And guess what? Buckle up, everybody, because Mav and I got RTSs coming to the
Oh my God. They're going to get sick of our RTS conversations.
You're going to get sick of our RTS conversations in 2023. Yeah. We're going to have stories to tell about our RTS gameplay.
Our skirmishes.
Going to be insane. Our skirmishes. Oh my God. This is going to be fun in 2023. But Mav, what do you got to say about 2022, man?
Thank you to everybody. You, bro, 100% for, I mean, you do so much, but you show up each and every week like crazy, dude. You're like so consistent on all your shows. I don't know how you do it. But also, you know, you make this better. You make this show what it is for sure. 100%. That's the reason I asked you to do this, because you're awesome and helping this community grow as well. Everybody in this chat fucking rocks. This was an amazing 2022 for us, just to see the amount of friends. I saw, again, somebody out there that said that, you know, hey, content creators don't care about they just see you as numbers and all this shit. That's complete, utter bullcrap. I can tell you the number one thing that was added to me and Kate's life was the community and the friends that we've made. Many of the people that we met in the community are on our shows now. That goes from actually everybody like that's on our shows now. Like we didn't know anybody beforehand. We met through chats and stuff and stuff, talking about games and everything. And like the amount of people we have show up every week that gives us their time, that's precious, right? Because you could be doing anything you want to do right now, and you're sitting here and choosing to listen to these 2 jackasses talk about what crazy ass predictions we have for 2023 in gaming, and it just means the world to me. Not for just this show, but for Xbox Ultimate, for FSP, for the game streams, for the random one-off impromptu things that I do sometimes when I do have time to do a video. Support means everything, guys. So appreciate it, and thank you for awesome 2022. And we'll looking to have more fun at 2023. Absolutely.
It definitely is going to be fun in 2023, let me tell you. Starfield March. Come on, let's make it happen, Todd. Let's go. We're going to have Starfield. We're going to have RTSs. Oh, my God. We're going to have so much next year. It's going to be so much fun. Appreciate all of you. And obviously, let's get everybody out of here, Mav. It's been a freaking fantastic show. So Mav, what do you got planned for the rest of the week coming into the new year, 2023, bro? What's going on this week?
One last show on this channel for the new year, and that's Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night. It's 10 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna have a blast. We'll be I don't know what we're gonna talk about, man. We like killed it today with so many topics and stuff, but we're gonna have a blast. We'll have some fun. This will be one of our fun random shows that we do. That's just kind of like goes left or right or whatever. I have a feeling it's gonna be a blast. So tune in tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern time for Xbox Ultimate. Monday we will be back with FSP and go on from there. PM in the PM next week, and we'll start off 2023 strong.
Yeah, we are.
What about you, bro?
Hopefully we get some news.
You haven't living split screen. You missed living split screen last week. You missed it.
I know. I lied last PM in the PM, said that we're gonna have living split screen, and I knew it sounded wrong when I said it, and then I hit Steal in the DMs. I'm like, did we say we're not having a living split screen? He's like, no, bro, we're not having living. It's Christmas Eve. We're doing it on New Year's Eve, though. I'm like, oh, dang it, I knew it was. But anyways, this has been awesome. First of all, I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. No matter how 2022 started, ended, what happened in between, listen, we've all had our ups, downs, and everything else. So whether you had a great year or you had a not so great year, looking forward to 2023. And I want to wish everybody out there a happy New Year. I do have a couple of shows prior to that, a few shows actually, but wanted to get this out to the PM in the PM chat. Happy New Year. Whether you're listening now live or you listen to us in the future, I hope 2023 brings you nothing but the best of blessings, love, everything that you could wish for in 2023. And so thank you all for being here this entire year with us. But this week, I definitely have some shows. So I'm going to be back on Xbox Ultimate. I did miss last week due to Christmas time, but I will be back tomorrow night, as Mav said. So join us tomorrow night. We're going to have a fun show no matter what. Like he said, you know what's cool about Xbox Ultimate? Even if we talk about stuff on PM and the PM, then we get new voices. From whoever.
We get in debates and arguments because me and you, and you jive a lot of the same opinions sometimes. Exactly. But Jasper and Psycho sometimes don't like coincide with that, and it's amazing. Fuzzy even Fuzzy was even giving it to us last week.
I know he was. Hey, $10 Vik The CLiCK. I want to thank you guys for all the entertainment you give us and the insight into the gaming world. Take care, guys, and chat. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Vik. Appreciate all your support and love, man. Definitely, man. Nothing but respect, man. You have a safe New Year if I don't talk to you before then, Vik. But yeah, you can find me tomorrow night, Xbox Ultimate. And then, yes, Steele and I will be having a New Year's Eve morning show, living split screen, final one of the year. Again, Steele and I have had slow, steady growth over there, which is exactly what we expected out of that show. It doesn't look like we're going to hit mission 1K unless we really have a miracle. But you know what? We still saw a lot of growth this year as well, and love to see you there. So if you enjoyed this kind of conversation between me and Mav, you will enjoy the conversation that Steele and I have every Saturday morning, living split screen, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, 3 p.m. UK time. Please drop on by, check it out. Steele and I just do this, but more. So we go for 3+ hours, but normally 4. And since Steele and I didn't have a show last weekend and we catch up,
it's going to be a 7-hour show.
It's probably going to go 4. Nah, it's probably going to go 4.
7.
It'll be 4. It'll be 4+. We'll cover a lot of different things. We will talk a lot of community stuff over there. So join us, buckle up, get your alarm set now. Living split screen Saturday morning, and then the Shop podcast is on for New Year's Eve night. So guess what? You're partying. Hey, throw on the Shop podcast. PTK Blam, Fuzzy, myself will be there. It is 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time, Saturday night, the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. You know we're going to close it out right there as well. We always have great discussions. So join us on the Shop Saturday night. And then as Mav said, it starts all next week. Again, Xbox Factor, whether I'm there or not, which is not there right now, but I'm still part of the panel, so you got to show up because Double Barrel Gaming, Mr. Boomstick, it's the all good things green. He's been killing it with show after show. Next Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, Xbox Factor podcast, and then back here, 4 p.m. in the PM, Thursday night. We're going to start the year right, like Mav said. I don't know what kind of news we're going to have next week, but we will figure it out by Thursday. So, again, thank you all for a great year. Thank you all for a great night tonight. And again, if you're listening to us in the future, no less thanks to any of you. All love and respect. It's been a great year. Happy New Year, everybody. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Yeah, peace out, everyone. Love you all. And Jason Max says, should I use Manscaped before New Year's? Absolutely, man. New year, new
that's
balls.
Important.
New year,
Start
new
your
balls.
year right. That's right.
Let's go. Fun speculation is the code, by the way. Hey, peace out, everyone. Happy New Year.